Welcome everybody to Koken, Woodford,
Oh,
Glen.
hey.
It's good to see a good crowd out here tonight. It's been a while, a couple of weeks now, since the Glen Eagles ventured north to Palmerston North for the NZ Superstock Teams Champs. They went up there as the defending champions, but when they got there, they handed the trophy over and said they had to win it again. They were not the defending champions. They had to win it. And that they did. We're going to have quite a good chat to Malcolm Natai, who supplies some cars. I want to get his thoughts on where he's going, how he's looking, and then we'll take them round with the trophy. So first up, let's call in Daryl Wallace, 557C. Sauce, as you're normally known as. Daryl, welcome down for the South Island Champs, but big weekend a couple of weekends ago.
Here we go.
Yeah, sure, mate. Mate. We managed to celebrate pretty well afterwards. Obviously, it was pretty cool to go back-to-back. So, yeah.
Now, it must have been hard for you being part of the winning team, the previous one, and having to sit out the first night with engine issues and car issues.
Yeah, mate. We found we had a little electrical issue. Found a problem on the finals morning. Fortunately, James stepped up pretty well, and he did a bloody good job and got us through. So, and obviously the other boys did their job.
Now, this team has gelled since 2019 when we first won it. A couple of changes in the team, but the core of the team has stayed the same. The old saying, a champion team will beat a team of champions.
Yeah, Malcolm told us that before on the weekend too, and said, there was a team that didn't go so good, and they were a team of champions, or however you want to say it. But he told us, and we did well. So.
Now, how good was it to go back-to-back? I'm led to believe there's only two other teams that have done it. Palmerston North, I've done it multiple times, and then Hawke's Bay, and now the suck-it-up Glen Eagles. Yeah,
it's a pretty cool feeling, eh? Like you said about the trophy thing, we had to earn it back, so we put it on the infield and made sure everyone knew we were there to earn it back, and that's what we did, so it was awesome.
Party hard on the after the finals night?
Sure did. I think my missus picked me up the next day.
Big trophy to drink out of. There's a few stubbies will fit in that one. Hey, thanks for being down here, Daryl, and you're going to go around the track with the team very shortly. We're going to pass over to Jason, who's got Scott Tennant.
I do indeed have Scott Tennant. Finally got my microphone turned on. Apparently, it's the only thing I can turn on, but that's all right, Scotty. Hey, mate, it's amazing for you guys. I mean, we were talking to Malcolm the other day about this, and you guys were basically just a team that he's seen some talent in. He brought you guys down, and man, have you given them the awesome result, eh? You must be stoked being back-to-back.
Oh yeah, over the moon. It's a dream come true, and just big thank you to Malcolm and obviously all the team and supporters for backing us 100%. And it was awesome to come away with a result for them in Palmy.
Must have been terrible for you. I mean, Malcolm rings you up. Hey, I've got a super stock for you to drive. Do you really want to do it?
I was a bit daunted by it at first, but no, this is a good bunch of guys, and I've raced with them for years, so it was awesome to go out there and represent the C for them and do the job on track.
Mate, you had a 2NZ on the stock car last year, and you've now driven that super stock. Now let's ask you the real question: if you had a choice of a full-time drive, what would it be? Would it be the stock car or the super stock now?
Oh, it's not really a question, is it? Of course it's going to be super stock. It's a bit hard going back to actually the stock cars after driving super stocks. You definitely miss it a little bit, and I'm glad to be back down here and at the South Island Champs and doing it all over again this weekend.
So now that you've got this back-to-back deal, are you going to stay with a C on the side of the car and race for the Glen Eagles again next season to defend it?
Of course, yeah. I wouldn't be racing for anyone else. These guys saw something in me and believed in me, so I'll be repaying them by keeping the C on the door.
I love your work, mate. Hey, well, congratulations, fella. We'll hand you back over to the short fella.
Yeah, I'm here with James Stein, the driver of 14C Superstock. You were the new boy in the team this year, James. You put your hand up at the start of the season and you made the team. And, mate, you got thrown in the deep end on the first night.
Yeah, it wasn't meant to happen. But with what was happening with Sauce's car and the warm-ups and everything going on, I was, thrown in the deep end and sink or swim. And, didn't have much time to get prepared or anything, which probably, I think, helped in my favour, and just went out and did it.
Now, it's a totally different feeling up there at Palmerston North. If any of our fans have been there and the ones that are watching on TV that have been there, the atmosphere is electric. So doing the Grand Parade and then going out and doing your warm-up laps, what was it like? I know people say you sit there and you're nervous when you're in the dummy grid, but once you actually get out on the track, does those nerves go away, or was it when you were gridding up and you knew what you had to do?
I'm going to be honest. If I had have known I was doing the first race, I would have probably been a bit more psyching myself out. I was definitely nervous. It's been an absolute dream of mine. I've been going for 18 years with my old man. To finally get there and actually do it was unreal. But yeah, the Grand Parade just gets you pumped, and everyone that's there and supporting you, like, it means more to the crowd almost. Like, people were just behind you and so emotional about it. So it's pretty cool.
And it's good to see the South Island team, so much support from the North Island as a North Island businesses. Like, half the sponsors are from Palmerston North. They just get right behind the Glen Eagles. We've got our South Island sponsors are on board, Suck It Up, New Zealand Building Removals, Elite Wheels. We've got good support out of Palmerston North and the North Island as well.
Yeah, it's pretty unreal. When you go up there, for anyone that hasn't been, there seems to be like every third person has an Eagles shirt on. So it's pretty bloody amazing walking around knowing you're sort of like a celebrity for the weekend. But a big thank you to all our sponsors here, Palmy, anywhere really. We wouldn't be able to do it without you, so just thank you for that.
Now you're going to put your hand up for the team again next year and stay in the team and try and go for that three-peat?
Yeah, that's the plan. We're making preparations at the moment to make sure my motor doesn't try to leave this time, but we'll definitely be putting my hand back up.
No worries. That's James Stein, the driver of 14C Superstock. We'll pass back over to Jason.
All right, mate. I got the man, the myth, the legend that is Jaden Ward, mate. And hey, look, I had a conversation with you earlier on in the week, and you actually said that that's actually before teams, and you said, "Nah, you're going to go put a P on the car." But that's obviously all changed now with winning the back-to-back Palmy Teams Champs, man. We were worried about that. Are you going to commit to us down here?
Yeah, definitely. We're going to stay loyal for Christchurch. Again, I always said, my time's up sort of here, but if the boys keep doing the job and we keep winning, we'll stick around and keep defending it. So the boys are doing an excellent job, and how do you walk away from that?
You're one of the characters of the sport. There's no two ways about that. Some of the antics you get up to that we can't really talk about live on air and with people in the crowd either. But, of course, you're also one of the guys that everybody sort of kind of watched coming through the mini stocks and all that sort of stuff. And now you're a top driver. You've even had to borrow your old car back to go and do this stuff. And Cam, obviously, that owns the car, was quite comfortable to let you do that. Is that sort of like a good feeling to have, the man that who bought your car off you say, "Here, mate, go wreck it"?
Yeah, mate, he's definitely a lifesaver for sure for myself and probably the Eagles, to keep me in there. So yeah, big ups to Cam for trusting me with that car. That's a $100,000 race car he just let me loose in. There's a few itchy moments there where he was biting his teeth, at the track when the car come in on a double tow truck stuffed. But mate, we've got a good crew in our team, and all engineers and mechanics all in there. We got that car done within 15 minutes, so there's nothing to worry about. But yeah, big ups to him. We had a car getting built during the off season, and that fell through, and without Cam we wouldn't have done anything this season, and we've had a pretty successful season, so big thanks to him.
And of course you're letting them drive it this weekend for the South Island Superstocks. But for those people that have never been to Palmy teams that are sitting in this crowd here and obviously watching on the live stream, describe what it's like. What's it like to be a driver, especially around the parade laps and especially when you win it? Oh,
it's very hard to explain. I suppose it's like being at the Rugby Sevens, if you've ever been to something like that, for a crowd's point of view. Driver, I don't know, it's a lot to take in. There's so many eyes watching you, and the atmosphere is huge. We can definitely feel it. It's nothing like what you see here on a club night or anything. It's that times 100, definitely.
All right, well, hey, thank you very much for committing to Christchurch. Give him a round of applause, mate. He's going to stick to Christchurch. Isn't that cool? It's Jaden Ward. We'll hand you back over to Ivan, and he's got Harley Robb.
Yeah, I've got Harley Robb, who was driving the 991 Superstock for that weekend. Harley, you got the phone call while you were away at the New Zealand Stockcar Champs from Malcolm. Here's my brand new Higgy. Jump in and wreck it.
Yeah, well, I was in the mood to go stock car racing up in Taranaki at the stock car title, and the phone started ringing. It was Malcolm, and he said, "What are you up to, boy?" And I said, "Oh, I'm just about to get in for the first heat of the stock car title." And he said, "Well, let's talk about teams." And I just said, "I'll ring you during the week," and then forgot to ring him, and he rang me back, and yeah, the deal was done. So credit to Malcolm for trusting me in $160,000 car, I guess, and letting me go out and wreck it.
The thing with it this year, everybody knows that you can block as well as Jaden, but you barely scratched that car. You changed the whole format and how you were driving. It was clinical. The whole team were clinical. And how's the Higgy car to drive compared to the tri-rail you drove last year in the teams?
Yeah, no, it's a clinical game that teams are racing now. The big hits are cool for the fans and that, but when we want to go out there, we've got a game plan. We want to win, so we look down at the little things we can do better. And obviously the big hits are cool, and sometimes they're good to do, but sometimes you just got to pull away from that and keep your nose clean. So Malcolm was pretty happy I didn't damage the car, I think. And no, the Higgins car is real good. Obviously, yeah. I only did the 3 races in it beforehand and felt real good, and then straight into a teams race. So, no, I really like the Higgins car, so it's a credit to Hig and Harwood for obviously they're developing it as well, and thanks to Malcolm for giving me the keys. It was good.
Now, the Superstock class in Christchurch is growing, yeah? We've got some good cars and good gear here now. There might be a wee bit of competition to try and get into the Eagles. That's got to be good for the province.
Oh, 100%. You know, there's a lot of these young boys coming through. I've been doing it a few years. I feel like an old boy, sort of like Malcolm, but I'm still a young bloke, so I'll still give it a nudge if I'm floating around, so it'll be good.
Now, you've got Malcolm, that was the sixth driver this year, and co-manager, and Ricky Bolton, both guys that have been around the Superstock ranks for quite a while and won titles and stuff like that. How valuable is their input?
Oh, it's real good. You know, Malcolm's obviously been there for years and years trying before he won it in 2019, so I think what he does now, giving all us young guys the car, it's like he's living back then. So it's a massive credit to Malcolm. You know, we wouldn't be able to have this team without guys like Malcolm. And then obviously having Ricky Bolton, he knows the rule book inside out. So when it comes to the tactical stuff, yeah, it's awesome to have both them to bounce ideas off, and then we make our plan from there. So it's real good.
Now, looking at it for next year, we're seeded because we won it. Mate, there's two pretty good teams that aren't seeded that we might end up getting.
Yeah, well, to be the best, you got to beat the best and bring them on.
Yeah, well, it was relatively easy. Hey, there were some good teams here this year. I just want to get your thoughts on your first up race. We have Wanganui. They were pretty sharp. They weren't too bad, actually, were they?
Nah, you know, we went into that thinking we had everything to lose, obviously being the defending champs, and they had everything to gain. So we knew they were going to come out and hit us hard and try and get us down in the dumps. So yeah, we just come up with a game plan, and we didn't worry too much about them, and we just made a game plan for them to stop. So sadly, they couldn't stop us, and yeah, we come away after the win, so it was good.
Hey, in the final race, it was real clinical, and I forgot to ask Sauce, but how good was it paying back McRobbie and tipping him up?
Oh, yeah, I think Sauce's eyes lit up when that hit was there. So yeah, no, he got him back for sure for the other year. That was real good.
No, that's great. That's Harley Robb, the driver of 991 Superstock for the Suck It Up Glen Eagles.
Righto, let's talk to the man that's made it all happen really at the end of the day. And of course, this is Malcolm Nardai. Malcolm, I mean, let's be honest, if it wasn't for you, there wouldn't be a Glen Eagles team. All the gear is pretty much yours, and you're giving them the best equipment to do the best job.
Yeah, well, you can say that, but without them guys, there's no team. So, yeah, I put a bit of money in and give them some cars, but without our top drivers we ain't got a team. So I can't take all the credit. I can take a little bit of it, and we all take a little bit each. We all treat each other exactly the same. There's no bosses in our lot. Quite often one of the boys will have an idea and we'll think about it, go, shit, that's a good idea, we'll try that. We go out there and it works. So when you say management, we're all management. Jaden's a captain. He doesn't treat himself any better than anyone else. The role he done all weekend, he didn't want to do, but he got told he had to do, and he did a good job at it. And all the guys did everything right. We had two silly mistakes, but we counteracted it and corrected it and dealt to the problem. And yeah, it's sort of just about cost us twice, but we pulled through. And I'm not going to say what they were. The boys know what went on, and just a bad decision. But like 98% out of 100, man, that was full on.
Tell me, you were the sixth driver on the day. Bit of a wee drama unfolded with that. Of course, you tried to trick people and thinking that you were going to jump into the car. Clearly, that was just a tactic to make people wonder what you're doing. I remember watching the live stream, and they had no idea who was in the car. Was that all a part of the show? Was that the part of the Glen Eagles, drama show?
It's quite funny because most people that know me know that I pull a good crank every now and then, or prank, and. Yeah, well, Jaden was sore. He'd popped his shoulder out, and I said, I went and seen him. I said, mate, are you sure you're right? I says, because I'm not going to put you out there if you're not right. Like, it's a big race. I knew that guy would drive with one leg and one arm, so I knew that he was moving, he was going to be in it. So I said, well, we'll take the piss here a bit, and yeah, that we did. So all the Rotorua guys, they had their spies watching our cars, and they were running over there when I got in the car, and then the crowd got in behind it. It was a bit of a prank, and then I told them James's engine had blown up. Well, it had blown up, but it was good enough to run to get on the track. So the poor crowd didn't know what to think. They thought, how much shit's this guy talking? And I was talking plenty.
And of course, not only that, would you have been the sixth driver if you really had to?
Yeah, I was ready to jump in that car. Like, I hopped in the car. It felt good around my body. The gear sticks, the pedals, the steering wheel was all in the right place. I felt real good. If Jaden had been any sorer, I would have got in that car.
Okay, well, I just want to talk quickly before I hand you over to Ivan, who's obviously got a couple of questions. He's standing here looking at me, I want to talk. So obviously the management structure, I mean, you say that no one's a manager, but you had yourself, you had Ricky Bolton. Tell us a bit about what you had to do to prep these guys. What's the game plan? How did it all come together? How did you basically play it out?
Yeah, we don't want to tell you too much because other teams might be listening, but our guys are most chilled guys you'll ever come across. Like, they've all got their own individual little thing they do, and we leave them to it. If they want to sit over in the truck by themselves, just leave them alone. We put a bit of music on that I can't understand half of what they're singing, but those young guys love it, and it's a lot of gangster music, and they really get their mojo on. And we heard people talking around the pits that, we're a whole lot of cocky pricks and that. Well, hey, maybe we are cocky, but we went out there, we done the job, and we don't look back, and they can say what they like.
Bit of duff from all the boys, but you'll listen to Barbie Girl, eh? All right, I'm going to hand you over to Ivan anyway.
Malcolm, it was a great result for the weekend, and now we go into next season to that Champs, defending title again, and you'll probably go down the same path, hand it over when you get there and say, we've got to win it. It's a big challenge, but it's something that's really exciting.
If you go holding the trophy all weekend, you feel you got nothing to win because you've already got it. So that was something we talked about. It was actually Ricky Bolton's idea. I won't take the fame for that. And he said, "What do you think?" I said, "No, it's right. Like, we're here this weekend, and if we're going to win it, we want to win it, not just keep it in our hands." So it was a great idea, and it was well deserved. Like, you couldn't fault much of what we did all weekend. The boys had great discipline all weekend, as in after the racing and not going drinking and all that sort of stuff that we're always well known for. None of them were playing up, and I normally keep on their case pretty hard, but didn't have to have a word to any of them. And it was just a real good weekend, really good vibes in the camp. All the crews were happy. Everyone got on. It was really nice.
Now, just another quick question, Malcolm. I'll get two more questions out before we get seniors round. What motivates Malcolm Nartai with these young fellas to... I managed the team a few years ago. I know what it's like. What motivates Malcolm Nartai to keep doing it? And you've seen something special in these young guys.
Yeah, well, that's a big thing. It does take a bit of motivation, and sometimes I think, what the hell am I doing? But, for me as a Woodford Glen racer, in 2019 to bring that trophy home was just like... It was better than the 1NZ in 209 that I got. It's you got Gerald Griffiths and all those old boys, Wayne Wilde, and all those old boys that went there fighting all those years and never brought it home, and we were good enough to bring it home. And then to go back to back this year, Woodford Glen has never done that, and I'm proud. I'm real proud to be a Woodford Glen driver.
And it takes away the fluke factor. We won it 2019. We've been in the finals or the top four right up till this season. Yeah, so we won it, then we went second, and then we had that stupid incident, and then we won it, and then we won it. So we've been in the top five for the last 4 or 5 years. So we're just showing the country we are the best. Last question. Kinder wants to get the meeting underway. The New Zealand Superstock Teams Champs that they hold in Auckland, which is actually the New Zealand title. Just your thoughts on it. I've brought it up at conference. Should the winner of that event get to take it as it's a New Zealand title, or should it go in the rotation? It'd be nice to go in the rotation because Auckland, Auckland's great, but I think it's had its day, and it'd be nice if the winning team gets to take that one away. You can't take the Palmy one away from Palmy though. No. That's the best truck in the country for stock car racing, and you wouldn't want to move it from there. But I think the other one, that could move around. No worries, thank you. That's Malcolm Nartai, 19C Superstock Super Saloon manager, 6th driver, Joe Caver. We'll put them on the truck, and they'll come round with the trophy, and we'll be getting into it very shortly.
Absolutely. And for those people on the live stream, just stay tuned, folks. We'll be back very shortly. We've got a grand parade coming up, and of course, for those people that are at the track, Ivan, we're going to say a big fat welcome to you guys, and hope you got a good night.
Oh, it's going to be a great night.
Great night. 3 South Island titles in contention here: Superstock, Stockcars, and Super Saloons. I bet you. There's more hitting in the Super Saloons than the Superstocks.
Probably. And don't forget the street stocks. Yeah. Canterbury Champs for those boys.
She's a full-on night, and we'll catch you up very shortly.
The St. Nicholas is a familiar sight around Bluff as she steams out to capture Can-Do Fishing's famous Bluff kinner. Once caught, the kinner is brought back to the purpose-built factory in Bluff where it is processed, packed and shipped fresh to you. But that's not all that Can-Do Fishing can do for you. Try some of their green-boned fish or delicious power products, and you will soon see why seafood from the Bluff is world famous. So head to your local fish market or supermarket and ask for Can-Do Fishing kinner, fish or power. Can-Do Fishing, there's nothing we can't do for you.
At Mag and Turbo Christchurch, we are New Zealand's largest Cooper tyres dealer. Made and tested in America at Cooper's purpose-built test facility, Cooper tyres are one of the best brands in the world for both their on and off-road capabilities. We have Cooper tyres in stock to fit all small to large four-wheel drives and constantly see customers getting up to 100,000 kilometres mileage from them. So if you want the highest quality of tyres for your vehicle, backed up with the best after-sales service around, get down to the number 1 Mag and Turbo Tyre and Service Centre.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome to, it's almost a bit of a disjointed start tonight, isn't it? We've had the Glen Eagles out, we've celebrated with them, and of course they're going to be an awesome effort to do the back-to-back. I think any championship you can do back-to-back, well done. But of course we've had the little bit of a grand parade, and now we're straight into the repechage, brought to us courtesy of Garage 16. These are the cars that entered last night but didn't qualify. Now, to be fair, there's a couple of cars in the pits which didn't actually enter last night that'll be in the consolation races.
Yep.
So these are the cars that entered last night and did not qualify. There was some really interesting racing with the qualifying last night. Some drivers did make it very hard on themselves, Ivan.
They did.
And one interesting ruling I heard on a car, and we'll delve into a little bit later when we get a bit more detail, but he got disqualified on the scales as his tyre went flat on the scales.
Wow.
So the outside tyre rule, of course, we all assume that pertains to on the track. When you're racing. The light goes, you finish the race, in the rundown laps you get a flat tyre, go onto the scales. Because you go on there with a flat tyre, you got disqualified. Still didn't affect that particular driver for qualifying, and all those points from last night are wiped. But interesting that a driver will get caught out like this. Some of these drivers did have a bit of a mare. If I look through the field there, the 33 car seemed to get caught up in just about everybody's incidents.
Yep.
Michael Harris was an interesting one. Blew the gearbox after scrutineering, coming back to the trailer, but because he had entered, because he had gone through scrutineering, and because he had gone to driver's briefing, he is deemed to have started the event. Therefore, he didn't even see the clay last night. In fact, probably the most clay he got was on the tyres coming back from scrutineering, and he is able to enter the repechage.
Yes, correct.
Yep, by 10. We do 8, and if we've got 2 more to go, then it's 10. Now, it is a 10-lap race. It is a first past the post. There isn't any... these drivers are wanting to get this over and done with. If you're going to have misfortune, this is not the race to have it in. We're away and racing very quickly, and a little greasy out there for cars that got horsepower. Watching the Scott Manson car, he got very slow. Maisie's just driven out straight to the wall, and the wet track is going to catch them out. Eb Young, so he's the cut-off.
Yep.
The 14 car.
He's on the bubble.
So he's on the bubble. As we look at the front here, the 69 car leads us in, but of course being a wet track, and they know this a lot, as they've put themselves into the wall, Peyton Wilson just ricocheted there. Eb Young has ricocheted to Dan Hardy. They've got on the brakes. It is a greasy track. They could have walked out on this half an hour ago and knowing this was going to happen. So at the moment it is Scott Manson, Cody Haig with Eb Young, and Chris Maisie is on the bubble. He's on the bubble, and we're going to go red. To be fair to the braking ability of these cars, if they slip in, but Peyton Wilson fired herself in there pretty hard.
Yep.
And I think a couple of these drivers completely misjudged what they were going to race on. Anyway, they're just checking on the 252. She did put herself in there pretty hard, but it is over in front of the Value Cars Warehouse grandstand at the moment. It is the race leaders. We're just watching the replay on the courtesy of the Pits TV. They all put them in sideways and fired it in. In fact, everybody. But they're going to give the 252 a push to the infield. So her night's done as far as the South Island Stockcar title goes.
Yep. So she'll be, if she's feeling fine, she'll be back out in the consolation races.
As we're back in the starters' hands, a little bit of creeping and rolling going on through here. Over the back straight. Oh, our race leader is struggling to get away. I think it's almost like he's taken off in top gear. So it is Scott Manson down to Enviro Waste. We have completed 1 lap. We're going to get to 2 if we're... Oh, Manson ricochets off the wall. And of course the other thing too is you might be out there by yourself, but you don't want to roll a tyre.
No.
As just looking down through Enviro Waste, how slippery and slimy it is down there. Booth's parked himself into the wall, and Aris has gone through. So Aris is on the bubble.
This is probably going to be the slowest repechage in Speedway history.
And To be fair, I'm not sure how we could have actually improved it, other than sending the Super Saloons out, which would have gone down like a cup of cold sick for the Super Saloons to track pack it.
If it got ugly, these guys need to get in to be able to repair their car for the first heat.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. If you give them a dry, hard track. So the 75 car's on the infield.
Yeah, he spun himself up, so he's just doing the loop to go back on where he came off.
Our race leader, though, it is the 69. Then we go back to the 706 of Haig with Young. Michael Harris is on the bubble, but he has almost the front straight ahead of Dan Hardy. I actually think Dan Hardy might have hooked third gear just to get the wheels so they can catch up with the momentum of the car. And Manson just gives Faulkner was a gentle tap, and it's like massive overreaction by the car. As pretty much half a lap between first and fourth. We'll get through this, but Eb Young's actually getting faster. So the old Garland up the inside of the 706 of Haig. Really, as long as you finish within the bubble, it doesn't matter how far into the bubble you are.
Yep.
Just noticing Harris was on the brakes at the end of the grandstand. You normally don't start lifting until the end of the grandstand.
Yeah, exactly.
So it is definitely catching a few of them out.
But the exciting thing is, it's obviously a bit wet, a bit drivey. Super Saloons are up next, so hopefully we could see some good lap times out of them.
Well, they're certainly going to go out there to a very slimy surface and cut up, so they'll do a few laps of track packing for themselves. But Scott Manson has led this one from the start. Eb Young a wee bit loose as he comes off 4, but just got to keep it all in one piece. And this will be for... Has he put a handle on the roof of his car?
Oh, it looks like it, doesn't it? So what? So you can pick it up and take it home later.
Yeah.
Shopping trolley.
I'm pretty sure Garland Engineering didn't do that. Anyway, Maisie on the wall again down at turn 4. So our race leader Scott Manson, Chris Thad, get it right, back to Haig. Just looking at the lap times, the fastest lap so far, a 27.979. So when we are making, this is going to be a long 5-minute race. Maisie's just parked down there as their 4th place car goes on through. And we have, just looking at the ELS, what are we at? We're on lap 7 for our race leader. We'll have a couple more laps to go. This will feel like an eternity for him. Just feathering the throttle, just going to drive it in. Don't get too carried away. The biggest trick too, I think, is actually to stay off the brakes.
Oh, exactly. Just button off early, drive it around the corner.
Well, the cars instinctively want to go around the corner. It's
whether it's the front end first or the back end.
When the back passes, a white flag will go out for Manson. So he's pretty much stayed out of everyone's trouble. Eb Young's come through, Cody Haig, Michael Harris, so that looks like...
Battle for 4th between the 12 and the 33.
Oh, just who have I got wrong there? No, the ELS isn't picking up Eb Young, but Eb Young is running 3rd.
Yeah.
So I actually think they'll have to go to manual lap scoring for whatever reason, and it could just be mud on the car.
Well, they're picking up Eb Young at 6th spot.
I don't think he was that far down. I'd say his ELS is, yep, he thinks he's finished because he's given the wall a bit of a slap on the way past. Oh well, we'll leave that one to be unfolded.
Yeah, we'll come back to you with that. Oh.
And Booth puts Hardy in backwards, and the checker comes out. So Booth thinks he's going in for a spot.
So what was our race time? 4 minutes 59. 4 minutes 49. Our fastest lap time was done by Michael Harris, smashing 27 seconds, or 26.1.
Given the right conditions, we know that car's probably capable of about a 19.5, 19.8 on this track. So, yeah.
So we know definitely 3 of the ones going through. Scott Manson, Cody Haig, and Michael Harris. We just have to confirm who that last spot is.
Eb Young didn't lose a lap in any of that. He stayed on that lead lap all the way through, but I actually reckon he's picked up something to do with the ELS and his drop signal. Unfortunately, I guess my laps is a great system, but one of the curses of it is there's actually no real way of testing it from a driver's perspective until you're on the track.
Exactly.
So, though no doubt he knows where he'll believe he knows where he's finished. I would say if I was Jeremy Booth, I'd keep my mouth shut for a little bit and see how that unfolds.
See how that unfolds, yeah.
But it was taken away by Scott Manson, and it did look like hard work, to be fair.
Very much hard work. So the 69 machine, the Suck It Up sponsored machine, picks up the checkered flag. wins the repechage and progresses through to the first heat of the South Island Stockcar Champs.
Now, the Super Saloons are going to roll out and look at this track, and they're going to be doing some packing for a few laps, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because some cars like it drivey, some cars like it slick.
Oh, this is one of those ones, if you go back 20 odd years ago when Richie Taylor had one of his first gorges where he'd go around and wave the front wheels to the crowd as he came off the corners.
Yeah.
This is a track that you would have got back in the day. So it's going to be interesting to see who's dialed in for it. It'll be interesting to see how the different cars handle, because I don't think a lot of the 4-bar cars have had this much drive to play with yet at any track this season. So they normally come out about a race 6 or 7 when the track's been hard packed down.
So we better pay some bills, and we will come back to you very shortly with Super Saloons.
Can you pick the top of the track, please?
We learned a little bit about some drivers last night with the racing last night. I think Burson was at his best off the front of that heat, of his 3 heats last night, and he's off the front tonight, where he's got the room to be able to pick a line, a high line through 3 and 4 particularly, and stick to it, and he just loves that, and that's how he's quick round here. A driver like Mark Osborne, I think he likes to chase and hunt down cars. And I think 25...
He likes to win.
25 laps last night, and most of those at the front of the field started to take their toll a little bit. And Cardwell, of course, had his car set up well to pass him later in the race. And I think we learnt a little bit there too. So it's interesting.
Of all the drivers that have experimented with different chassis and getting themselves into different positions over the last 4 or 5 years, the one who's made the most marked improvement is probably Craig Cardwell.
I would agree with that.
He's gone from he's come to the point where he's always a contender, and particularly on those long races, that CB2 car that he runs is got the fruit at the back end of the race.
Yes, absolutely.
And it proved it last night. It was a feature race that went from green to checkered, and he brought it home all the way through, but was very, very fast in the last 10 laps. As we grid on up, Ian Burson.
And if you're wondering why he's not there, it's because he's in the group that's not racing in this particular race. He'll be out later.
As we grid him up, Tony will come off and Enviro Race and go racing.
So Fluffy and Ian Burson off the front. Let's see who gets to turn 1 first as the South Island Super Saloon Championship gets underway here at Koken, Woodford, Glen, courtesy of Clarkson Sign Studio, and it's Ian Burson who makes it work. Hayden Mackay had a wee moment there, but he gathers the car back up. Richie Taylor had huge grip and huge pace out of turn 2 there. Tries to go 3 wide into turn 3. That's not going to happen. A little bit of contact there. Marsden on the back of Osborne. And everyone had to pull out.
Mackay stalled.
And Mackay has stalled.
Yellow. Stay low and turn 3. Stay low and turn 3.
Yeah, Mackay up by the wall. He put it in and he just stalled out.
Well, there was a bit happening in front of him, wasn't there? So,
to be fair, if you go back years ago when, once again, when Richie was running one of the early gorges, you would see as he goes into turn 3, he'd hit the brakes so hard the lights in the dashboard would come on. That's when the car was stalling, and then it would roll and fire up. Of course, when you're on a slightly greasier surface, if you stall the car out under brakes, all it does is slide and stop. Well, hopefully stop.
Hopefully stops before it hits anything. Yeah, absolutely. So that, interesting. That was an interesting first lap.
So
sounds like a different one.
You go back in when we first started using gearboxes in these cars, you couldn't understand the chatter and rattle they needed to have.
Make sure you leave that gap in front of you, please. Everyone else, single file behind the car in front of you.
Here we go.
This time. Restart. re-race, and away we go for the South Island Super Saloons take 2. And again, it's Ian Burson just gets the nose in front of Mark Grocott, the 73 car. Malcolm Nata looking pretty racy. Oh, Burson had a wee moment there, and Grocott takes advantage of it to snatch the lead. Brian Marsden again goes in a wee bit hot, has to use the grass and the ripple strip to slow down. Burson's got an issue. He's gone right to the back of the pack there. Not sure what happened there. Not sure if the car's not handling or if he's down on power. Fluffy's away. He's got a good car, about 10 car lengths over Malcolm Natai already. Although he's
parked in the wall.
He's parked it out in the wall. He's drifted wide. Natai's got a much better exit out of turn 4 and takes over the lead. So a few mistakes early in the race, you'd have to say. Richie Taylor right on the back of Mark Osborne there. Couldn't have got any closer if he tried. Here comes Ryan Marsden in quite hot again, but he's got a better line this time. And it has to be said, this is a tight race. Natai's leading Grocott with Osborne hot on the case in 3rd place. Richie Taylor trying to stay with Osborne. Marsden just battling a car that's perhaps a little bit loose, I think, under him at the moment. Fluffy has another moment off turn 4 there, drops back even further. Marsden and Taylor side by side. Then we go back to Lawson racing with Greg Johnson, who's wheel lifting now, and Hayden Mackay, who is as well. And look at Burson's car coming out of turn 2 there, only using 3 wheels, not all 4. So Malcolm Natai ticks off lap number 5 of this 12-lap race. He's got about 3 or 4 car lengths over Mark Osborne, who's one ahead of Fluffy Grocott, who's a couple ahead of Richie Taylor. We go back to Marsden, then there's a gap back to this good battle between Lawson and Johnson. Now Johnson's overcooked it and stalled it, I think. Yep, the yellows come on.
So
just went in a bit hot in that race with Lawson.
So the ELS reset back to 7 laps to go. Was that when the red came on or yellow came on? Natai making this look relatively easy at the front, Tony.
Yeah, he took advantage of a couple of mistakes by Mark Grocott and hasn't looked back, has he?
Not at all. He's absolutely hauling. Most of Kane Lawson's spoilers missing.
No, it is too. Where that got to?
I'm not seeing it lying on the track anywhere, but looks like we'll go racing as we come around. And just look at the state of some of the fronts of these cars. You can tell that that's a loose surface. In fact, the clay falling off the car, some of the cars coming down.
It's a fair few extra kilos in over the front axle, ahead of the front axle of most of those cars.
It's a long time since we've had a track with that much drive and that much loose top surface.
4 on the green, everyone else, single file, behind the car in front of you until the green.
Malcolm's screwing with them now. He's driving like a snake. You have to follow the car in front of you. He's boxed them all up too. He's kept them very pedestrian because he knows he's good on the restart.
Interesting driving from Malcolm Natai there, but anyway,
he's having fun.
He's having fun. Most of those cars wheel lifting as they go through 1 and 2, which tells you how much rear grip there is. And they go in pretty hot into turn 3, but they're all making it around okay. Malcolm still has the lead. Natai, 6 down, 6 to go, half distance for the 19C Suck It Up machine. He's a couple of car lengths ahead of Mark Osborne, who didn't get good drive out of 2 there. And Fluffy Grocott's closing on the back of the 3NZ car. Here comes Richie Taylor looking pretty fast as well. I think the track's coming to him and his setup. And Ryan Marsden, that car still looks a little bit loose to me, but he's got good pace. Lawson being monstered there by the 86 of Mackay, who's looking for a pass round the outside. Johnson wants to get the tow with Mackay as well. And Burson, that car is off. There's something not quite right there. He's at the back of the field enjoying himself, but not quite as competitive as those in front of him.
Very soft in that right rear.
Yeah. So Malcolm Natai into Envirowaste turn, out onto the front straight to complete lap number 9.
Marsden in the wall down Envirowaste as well.
Oh, that's kind of threatened all race, hasn't it? That could happen to him. Car looking a bit loose. But Natai seems comfortable enough. I'm not sure if Osborne's got what he needs to be able to get past Natai. He could try a desperate measure and force the issue if he really wanted to, but now Richie Taylor there going in hot into 1 and just drifting, pushing out to the wall. You could see He can't do much more than he's doing at the moment. I'm not sure any of these guys can. I think track position will be
flag.
constant through to the end, so 1 lap to go for Malcolm Nartai. Osborne has closed, Fluffy drifts high, but there's not a lot out there. Malcolm just needs to bring this home. Osborne needs to be careful not to spoil his own party as well as Malcolm's, but they do. They race sensibly, and there it is. Nartai, Osborne, Grocott and Taylor. Bit of a gap back to Lawson, Mackay, Johnston, Marsden, and at the back of the field, Ian Burson.
And I'd say a couple of laps of track packing there. That was starting to get into a little bit of a marathon there in that little middle of the race. But we'll just look here, 17.15 from Mark Osborne. So, yep, we're in what we'd expect at this time of the night.
We're still a second off the lap record. So,
absolutely.
You know, we're not at lap record pace, but we're definitely, there was a grippy track that did provide some pretty fast lap times.
And if you didn't have an M in your first name, you didn't get in the top 3. So Malcolm, Mark, and Mark, or Fluffy as we know him, taking away the top 3 spots out of all of that. As we look in the chute, the street stocks, they'll be out for their first round of the Canterbury Champs shortly. The Super Saloons will most certainly be doing some track packing for a couple of laps, and we'll be back very soon.
I'm so scared to leave my house, so I cannot run free from this. Always being watched by you, and that's so inconsiderate. My privacy, does that exist? Probably haven't heard of it. Need to live a different life.
So this is the Canterbury Street Stock Championship, isn't it?
It is, and it is. We are a bit light on street stocks. Of course, we're not too far away from the street stock state of origin, and a few drivers here want to test their cars. 1 or 2 out with either broken cars or a couple of little injuries.
There have been some years in which Dunedin cars have taken away the Canterbury Championship, haven't
I think the year that we all sort of went was when Paul Simon came up with 32 street stocks, and he was the only car, and he took it away. Dunedin car took it away. As we go racing, the 73 car of McGregor leads us away, followed by the 23 of Kennett. We go down to turn 1. Simon Bland in the 31 car, very, very slow off the mark by his standards.
Yes, something went wrong there. I think he missed his gear change or something.
A little bit of a pile up there with the 311 and 23. We all get out of that, but it's still the 73 car gets down to turn 3 and realises you've still got a turn as the 15 car Ben Turner puts himself around. After a lap, we look down and it'll be the red light on.
Is that for 23? Facing the wrong way in turn 2 there, mate.
Well, he's still moving. He was moving.
He was moving, so that's, yeah, I don't know.
Unless there's bar work or something on the track that we haven't seen. So they sent 23 to the infield. Not clear on that one.
7 to move forward 3 metres. Car 7 to move forward 3 metres.
Car 7's got to move forward 3 metres. There we go. So Norton Gown's in the Sora. That thing is a rocket ship.
Not
the line, watch the line.
Sorry, and he's in reverse now. So anyway, we go racing once again. Matty P is in the race lead. Now, to be fair to some of the cars that are out there, this track probably at the moment suits the old ELs. You know, they don't have as much horsepower as a V8 Sora. They don't have as much horsepower as a BA. So they're probably not going to wheel spin, as 31 of Bland gets right into the back of Schumacher. Messes them up real good going into the corner, but actually puts himself into the wall as the 7 car of Gowns gets tagged, spun around down at Enviro Race. We're going to go 4 or 5 wide. We're getting a pile up. Steve Peterson's, I think, into the side of Pedley.
They're locked together. Their bumpers are locked.
Oh, no,
they've
they're
unlocked now. Yep.
So they'll get to rejoin after all of that, as Matty P will come through, clock up another lap. We go back to the 29 of Jones.
It's a bit rugged out there.
Well, it is a 3-heat final. You might as well wreck somebody in the start.
Yep.
Pedley there circulating on the pole line as the 29 and 46 go through. Note, Pedley's going to the infield.
Look at Simon Bland's car.
It's only a bit of pillar.
Okay.
Steve Peterson.
Does that make it okay?
Well, to be fair, he finished one race at the GP with the whole left-hand side dragging on the ground.
Yes, he did.
As the 7 car gets into Travis Lane, McNally going to the infield in the 21 now. We're getting a bit hard on gear. Smoke coming off the back of the Sora, and he's going to cannonball into the side of the 73 of McGregor. Out in front, though, our race leader, it is Matt Peterson. He's been caught just slightly by the 29 of Mike Jones, who just about gets tagged there by Simon Bland. Simon definitely didn't keep his line there as the 94 of Inns ploughs into the 15 of Ben Turner down to Enviro-Waste. Steve Peterson taking evasive action. And Matt Peterson is going to get caught very quickly here by the 29 of Mike Jones. Almost like he needs to put his father between him and in the second place car. The Goat going through there in the 46 with the saw of Corey, Schumacher and Bland circulating on the pole line.
Yeah.
He's going to play. He's out to play. And I think he's found one. He's going to... No, he's backed off him. So Matt Peterson there. Up on the back of Jordan O'Connell Inns. He's going to duck to the inside. Saw running there. What do we got on the infield? McNally's car's smoking away. The 26 on the far side. The 311 and the 23 in there. 777 of Kahu Ipaha up under the wall down at turn 4. Now we're into the traffic. This is where it gets interesting. Matt Peterson, he's losing. Oh, Trevor Slade there giving a bit of a whack there from the 29 car. The 29 car running second, and it's allowed Matty P to actually pull a few car lengths.
Oh, 36 got a tap from 31 there.
He's managed to regain it and put himself around. It was probably the lesson. White flag is out for the 433, so he's just got to bring it home. He's got the 29 car a few car lengths back, just got to keep it tidy as they go around the outside of the 36 car. And of course it is about accruing points, not wrecking yourself with red lights on.
Red. 777, if you can hear me, to the infield.
777 to the infield. So that's what that one's about.
777 to the infield.
We must have a flat tyre or something, or a broken bumper. As Matty P sitting down there. We're on the lights now. We're going to go racing. Our race leader, Heat 1 of the Canterbury Street Stock Champs, will be taken away by the 433 of Matty P, followed there by the 29 of Mike Jones. And I'm going to have to go to the ELS. Corey Schumacher crosses for third with Mum's Taxi.
Yeah. So,
and
I don't know who spiked their Fantas before the race, but there was a fair bit of biffo in that race.
Simon
particularly for a first.
Well, the two wagons are still going at it.
Yeah.
So the Goat there is on the brakes, and he's just going to make sure Simon Bland uses as much clutch as he can to get across the start-finish line. So fastest lap out of that wasn't really a record time, 21.838 there by Mike Jones. Matty P taking away the race win, followed by Mike Jones, Corey Schumacher a wee bit further back, and Sean Andrew, who was getting pushed after the race. So it's interesting because he'd already finished. If Simon Bland was pushing the car that finished the race, oh well, we'll see how that unfolds. Let's not get too deep into that one.
It's not for us to get involved with that one.
No, but there was a wee bit of a parking lot with about half a dozen cars on the infield.
float his arm and try and get a
flight from England?
Well, it's overseas. Before he retires and gets out of the sport.
100%. That is
great to see him here.
So,
and who I'm talking about is Frankie Wayman Jr.
So
the original Frankie Wayman Jr.
Well, it's Frankie Senior. He's the original. There's not
sorry,
taking
oh, there's that many of them.
Well, that's yeah, but
Junior.
Tell you what, does Junior turn into an amazing blockman all of a sudden? And that is, of course, hey, we know the stream goes out across the world. If there's someone in England listening, make sure you tell Frankie we want him at Battle of the Stocks at some point.
It'll get everybody going.
And if we have to, we'll take Junior, and we'll take Slaughter as well, because he's awesome.
Rightio, Heat 1, South Island Superstock Champs. And we're away and racing. Off the front row, we've got the 27 of Peter Fields. Going into turn 1. Fields, he leads us at this stage. He gets turned around by the 91 of Heffy Pool. Everybody avoids him at this stage. Alex Hill just gets pushed up high. Cam Rain, he's being a ping pong ball at the moment. Everything's hitting him.
Two Nelson cars parked there.
Yeah, Clayworth and Alex Hill. Hill gets going again. Clayworth, he's sitting over on the back straight. Caleb West, he's leading us into the turn 1 this time round.
Red.
We've gone red.
Well, if you've got horsepower and you can get drive, man, there's some cars there driving like they're doing a motorcana out there.
Isn't it great to have a field like this and hear them take off? For a South Island title, we've got 3 Nelson visitors. The rest are all Christchurch cars.
And I don't get me wrong, we love the fact we stream. And for a lot of people, streaming is actually one of the easiest ways to experience Speedway. But there's nothing quite as tactile as feeling the Superstocks take off at full volume.
When you hear them take off like that, it's better than opening your Christmas present.
Yeah, it was this year, actually.
So they'll just hook up the 7 machine, the Ian Clayworth machine.
Yeah, I think Alex Hill, he's parked down at turn 4. He's still in the race, but boy, he was doing everything to avoid running into his clubmate.
Don't underestimate Alex Hill. You watch him in the World 240s and all of these events he goes to as a lone soldier around the country. He always qualifies and he always finishes in the top half dozen.
So they've got Clayworth off. We're back in the starter's hands, Ivan.
And we're away and racing again. Everybody seems to get away. Oh, the 693 of Shane Harwood pulls to the infield. The Higgy Marsh Motorsport car. Let's get back into the action as they come off turn 4. Riley Evans turns himself round up in the middle of turn 3. Caleb West in the 34. He's leading us over the 4C of Braden Lennon. Then we go back to the 91 of Happy Pool. 808 Scott Tennant. Malcolm Natai, he's come from near the rear of the field in the 19C. Then we go back to Hearn in the 79. Just gives Natai a bit of bumper, pushes them out wide as they go through 3 and 4. Sauce in the 557, he's coming up through there. He's going to take that spot as well. Our leader, Braden Lennon's just taken over the lead. Back to Caleb West. Then you go back to Scott Tennant. The 32 of Berry pulls to the infield. So there's a few dropping off like flies. Natai just gives Hearn the tubing and sends him firing into turn 3. Just blew him out of the way. As they come down the front straight, Natai's in behind Happy Paul in the 91. No change of our race leader at this stage. Mike Hislop just goes up a bit high in the 10C as they go through 1 and 2. But our race leader, Braden Lennon, coming through 3 and 4. In behind him, couple of car lengths back, the 34 machine of Caleb West. In behind Caleb West, the 808, Scotty Tennant. Then we go back to Natai in the 19. 91, Happy Pool. Then we go back to Darryl Wallace. Ollie Sutton in the 44. Back to Hislop in the 10. Wilson, he's in the 153. He's gone up high. Something's wrong with that car. Then we go back to the 23 of Berry. Alex Hill in the 95. Then we go back to McMillan in the 88 and Riley Evans in the 7. West is coming under all sorts of pressure. Braden Lennon, he's pulled about 8 to 10 over the rest. Races for 2nd and 3rd.
Red's on for the 79 car I'm picking. Sat there for about 4 laps.
Been there about 4 laps, so. But I'm not a referee.
Don't worry, if you're a Super Saloon, it would leave it there. Oops.
And we're away and off again. Everybody seems to get away. Braden Lennon comes past us again. He's leading us. Malcolm Natai's picked up that 3rd spot. So we've got Lennon, Tennant, Natai, West. Back to Happy Pool. He's just had a bit of a whoopsie and gone out wide. Darryl Wallace shoots up the inside of him. Ollie Sutton half spun himself. Just helped round by Mike Hislop in the 10 car. But Braden Lennon, he's catching up through these back markers. Riley Evans and McMillan and Ollie Sutton. So who's going to get through the traffic the best? At this stage, West, he's still hanging on the back of Natai as they go down into 3 and 4. Braden Lennon just leaning on Riley Evans, just getting them out of the way.
The 88 car looks like it's lost a shock and spun to the infield.
So there's another one down. Lennon now. Scotty T's all over the back of Riley Evans, the back marker, so he'll want to get past so he can get on the back bumper of Lennon. He carries a lot of speed into turn 3 and 4. Lennon's about to come under pressure. He comes past us, takes another lap off the system. Braden Lennon in the 4 car. Then we go back to Scott Tennant in the 808. Malcolm Nartai in the 19. Back to Caleb West in the 34. Then we'll be back to Darryl Wallace in the 557. Happy Pull. Then we'll go Alex Hill, Berry, and these back markers. Mike Hislop's popping and cracking there. Poor old Mike's had a bad run. Braden Lennon gets up the inside of Ollie Sutton. Sutton sees in his mirror and just stays up high. Scott Tennant, he's just sitting in behind there. He's just following Lennon. Caleb West having a great drive. He's just sitting on the back of Nartai, just waiting for something to open up. Try and get past the wily campaigner. Lennon goes past again. Fieldsy just checked the mirror, did a bit of a right-hander. He saw Scotty Tennant roaring up behind him. Tennant's now trying to get up the inside of Lennon. Who's got the drag race? Lennon goes in a bit hot. Tennant's up the inside.
West gets Nartai as well.
Who's going to get it? Drag straight down the front. Lennon's throwing it in. Scotty T's driving it through the corner. Races for first, second, third, fourth. West is back up the inside of Nartai. As they go into 3 and 4, Tennant's just sitting there up the inside of Lennon. Nartai's about to get it back up the inside. White flag this time round. Lennon's holding on at this stage. They go through turn 1 and 2. Lennon's gone up a bit high. It's going to be a drag race down the back straight. We've got a back marker in Fieldsy. Well, who's going to get it? West is pulling away from Nartai. We're going to 3 and 4. Tennant just slides a wee bit up the inside of Braden Lennon and takes the win. Nice drive by the 808. Braden Lennon in for second. Then we go back to Caleb West. Malcolm Nartai.
His car was going off big time in the back end of that race.
Then Darryl Wallace. It'll be Happy Pull. Alex Hill will be coming in for 7th spot, so that's not bad for Alex considering he was tied up in a issue first on.
Well, interesting, up until Malcolm's car went off, he was the fastest car. Then Alex Hill pulled an 18.93 at the back end of that race. So Alex came on strong right at the back end. 7 cars on the infield after that one for what we can mostly see as broken suspension and tyres.
Yep.
Couple of cars in there that went under their own steam. Well, 3 cars there. The 693, the 32 and the 10 cars both rolling in there, although the 693 rolling back into the pits under his own power.
Yep, so there must be something just slightly wrong with that.
It's action for the whole family. With 23 tracks around New Zealand, there is no better way to spend your weekends than at a Speedway New Zealand track.
Here they come to the start-finish line again.
There's something for the whole family. Sprint cars, saloons, stock cars, sidecars, midgets and much, much more. Pack up the family and make a trip to adrenaline-filled, action-packed bashes and crashes that only Speedway can deliver. Visit www.speedway.co.nz to find out the track nearest to you. Speedway, it's our summer thing.
It doesn't matter how hard the job is, we suck it up and get it done. No matter how dirty our hands have to get, we suck it up and get it done. Suck it up, suck it up, suck it up. Out for suck's sake, suck it up, suck it up, suck it up. Out for suck's sake, suck it up.
Suck it up and get it done with suckitup.co.nz.
That's a bit of the music they play at the Glen Eagles, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe I am a little bit
It's
old.
not Frank Sinatra or anything like that I might know.
I'd love to hear
ABBA.
Malcolm's selection on that file, the music file they've got there.
Yeah.
As we just look to this is of course the consolation races for the stock cars. Ben Lodge and Dan Hardy on the front here with Peyton Wilson, Dan, the 27 on the outside, Aaron Faulkner, and I think it's Sam Jack in the 197, which is the XBRT car.
And that car had no gearbox or clutch or anything at last night at 11 o'clock when I left here. It was all over the workshop floor.
Well,
so when he was told he was allowed to run in the consolation race, they were getting a new clutch at 10 o'clock this morning.
They weren't to be fair to them, they weren't going to run this car until the final meeting, because that's actually the next time there is a non-stock car championship here at Koken Woodford Glen. Hardy and the 917 are playing, and it's like watching them attack each other in slow motion. The race leader of Lodge goes through, and Hardy up and going. Oh no, he's got a flat right front, so that's why, yeah. He's going to get DNF'd or DQ'd if he doesn't pull in.
I think he knows that he's slow enough.
Well,
he's going to carry on.
So Ben Lodge back to the 27. And it certainly is this of course, these cars here didn't qualify, which does make life a little bit harder for themselves. Yeah, and Hardy has pulled out. Must admit I am itching to see the first heat of the South Island Stock Car title. One North Island car amongst all of them, and a whole lot of Christchurch cars in there.
Yep, and the one North Island car will probably just breeze under the radar like they normally do.
Well, we'll see how that unfolds, but most likely. And yeah, Mike Rush in the 27 running second. With Faulkner, actually no, he'll be running fourth because he's having the wee battle there with Hardy.
So they're just coming to grips with the 197 car pretty well.
In all fairness, when he was racing the mini stock, he was pretty good. He's pretty good. Now, in our program, we have the various sponsors on these cars, and I'm just going to see if hopefully I can find it. On the 319, no, it's not on there, unfortunately. If you have a look at the side of Ben's car, there's a wee business on there. I think it's Flowers for Medicine.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, if you get a chance, get your phone out and have a look at what that's about and the fundraising that they do. It's something a bit personal towards Ben and his family, but certainly from a Speedway point of view, it'd be awesome if we can support them with the fundraising they do with the flower sales.
I'm thinking you brought some for your wife for Valentine's Day from there.
Actually, no, I can't give you.
Oh, there you go. Promoting a good clubman business, and you didn't buy your wife something. Man, you're tight.
I was tight.
Right, back to the race.
Oh, bollocks. I was in Auckland and got a phone call and realised it was Valentine's Day.
White flag this time round for the 319.
That Jack car, of course, that's a Top Gear car with a Falcon in it. It's I think it's the only Top Gear car that had a Falcon in it. And very, very fast machine. And it looks like he's going to come into grips with it very quickly. As we roll out the consolation race, Ben Lodge taking away the first one of those for the evening.
And the 197 actually set the fastest lap.
which is not a huge surprise. That being said, he's only a second faster than he was in the mini stock.
Yeah, exactly.
So he'll feel the power coming eyes wide open. Oh, you won't believe how fast we. Yep, we will.
So Ben Lodge in the 319, he takes out the win over the 27C car, followed him by the 197, and then we go back to the 252 of Peter Wilson. 917 Aaron Faulkner, and DNF will be Dan Hardy with the flat tyre.
As we look into the pit chute, the modifieds will be out shortly. They're one of the few parades here not racing for a championship tonight.
Oh, I'm sure we could put something on. A bottle of Coke or something like that.
Be a ranch for at the end of the night.
Just Auntie is off here before. I wonder how some of these other tracks around the country are running. We've got that many officials here with 3 different South Island titles. There's different stewards and referees for different grades. And yeah.
I can't even see our own officials amongst all of that, let alone there's a lot of different coloured hats.
Oh, hey, they all do a good job, and we need them, and to be fair, it's got to happen. So there's your race winner, the 319 of Ben Lodge, as he goes round with the checkered flag. As we spoke about, modifieds, Tony T, one of his favourites, as well as your own Jared.
Yep.
So we will be back very shortly with modifieds in the chute.
Keegan is the pace setter.
And you'd normally have to say that any race with Luke Keegan off the front row, it's going to be pretty hard for anyone to reel him in. But if anyone can do it, it's Jacob Mitchell off the back. So we'll keep an eye on the very front and the very back of this race as the 00 car of Luke Keegan gets to the front. A couple of car lengths ahead of the 9 of Gary Lennon, a gap back to Cassandra Massey. Here comes Naven in that 48 machine, and round the outside comes the 18 of Mitchell. Like a knife through butter, he just carves his way through, or in this case around the field, to take over third place. Now he's got his work cut out to reel in Luke Keegan out the front there. Bearing in mind that Luke and this particular chassis have probably not been quite as dominant as he was some years ago when he had a little bit of different machinery
Well, it's a
underneath
bit
him.
different when you pan for it yourself.
Yes.
Without being horrible, you can drive. You can
comment.
drive it at 10 tenths when someone else fronts for the damage.
Yeah. But he's making a good fist of it as Luke Keegan, and he's got about 8 car lengths over Gary Lennon, who's got about 7 or 8 over Jacob Mitchell, who's closing rapidly. Dan Ray's got himself into 4th place as well, and is looking pretty quick. I have to say the lap times are looking good. They're in the low 16s. Jacob Mitchell's just done a 15.75. Now it's getting close to that lap record that he set earlier in the season.
Well, it was sitting there for a lap or so at 15.999.
Yeah.
But he.
And Gary Lennon and Jacob Mitchell swapping paint there on turn 1, but Mitchell's got the pass done, and he's taking over 2nd place. 5 down, 6 down now, 4 to go for Luke Keegan. It's just a 10-lap race. It's a quick sprint for these guys. It'll be over in the blink of an eye, really. And Mitchell's got 3.5 laps to try and close the gap and get to the front, bearing in mind he started on the last row of the grid.
He's going to give it a fair crack at the moment.
He is, isn't he? He's quickest car out there, 16.09, as against Keegan, who was a 16.31. So he's going to close the gap, but he may run out of laps to make the pass. 2 to go now for Luke Keegan.
He's consistently faster than Keegan, but Keegan has track position and he had the advantage of just getting that gap off the start. Yeah. White flag is out as they come off Enviro Waste. I think Mitchell's going to give it all he can in this last lap.
He is. He's giving it heaps. 15.2 was his lap record, so he's about a half a second off with that 15.7 in this race. So he's coming through Enviro Waste turn for the last time. Committed to the outside line is Mitchell. I reckon one more lap and he'd have had him. But Luke Keegan off the front takes the win. Mitchell comes through for second. Gary Lennon holds on for third from a barnstorming Dan Ray, who had a real head of steam up as well. And the rest of the field spread out further back. Chuck Corbett in 5th place, Andrew Naven ahead of Sandra Massey and Evan Nicol in 8th in that field.
0.33 of a second between Keegan and Mitchell at the end of that race. Bearing in mind it's half a second to blink an eye, so it was he was closing on him, as you say. Another lap, it would have been interesting.
The difference in lap times was 0.3 of a second. So on that basis, one more lap, they'd have been side by side.
Well, as we look into the chute, we start on the first of the 3 heats for the South Island stock car title.
Yeah.
And we start. I guess this is the race we've been waiting for. As much as the Superstocks are there for their title tonight, this is the full field of 30 stock cars for Heat 1 of the South Island stock car title.
Let's hope it's as rugged as Heat 1 of the Street Stocks and Heat 1 of the Superstocks was. Because if it is, we're in for an absolutely entertaining race.
Okay, folks, here we are down in the pits, of course, with the winner of the first Superstock race for the South Island Superstock title. We don't want this to happen, Scotty. We don't want you to take it back to the North Island, mate.
Oh, I'm pretty sure we'll be staying down here anyway at the Glen Eagles bar, so it's got the C on the door, so that's what I'm here prepping for.
Absolutely. So everything went pretty good there. Good battle with Braden Lennon for that good part of that race there, and I thought he might have had you, but last couple of turns there just made it all work for yourself.
Yeah, tried a few different lines just to try and find something where Brado wasn't running, and obviously being out in front, Brado can't see that, so I think I was lucky I was in second place there for the last few laps.
Absolutely, and of course, what's the track like? Look, it's pretty fast out there.
Yeah, very fast. I don't know what it was like last night, but some guys were saying it was a bit slick, but that was really driving really fast out there.
What's the plan now? Just stay cool?
Yeah, stay cool off the front of this one, so we'll see if we can maximise that and go from there.
Where did you start in that last one?
Oh, middle, sort of back, so I have a back one for the last one.
Good points anyway.
Yeah, got to be happy with a win from there.
Wouldn't that be good? Palmy Teams Championship title and the South Island title on your trophy cabinet at home.
Oh, we're only run race deep, so yeah, still plenty of work to do. So we'll be gunning it for it in the next one, and see what happens.
Just quickly, your sponsors.
Oh, just big thanks to Stuck It Up and all the team. The guys have been working hard on the car. It was a bit of damage after Palmy Team, so yeah, big thanks to them. They put the car on the track, so I'm just a wheel man at the end of the day, so it's awesome.
Good luck, hey, for the rest of the racing, mate. Well done.
Awesome, thank you.
Jason's making his imprint in the pits. Jason,
okay, folks, we're down in the pits again. We've got this man, Mike Hislop, mate. Your car, you didn't finish. What happened?
We did a drive shaft, mate. Coming into turn 3, it just went.
What's the feeling like out there for you? Is the car going good?
Yeah, it was going really good, actually. Yeah, so pretty disappointing, eh?
So what's the plan for the rest of the meeting? Just to try and get some good finishes, I suppose?
Yeah, maybe help some Christchurch guys if they need to in the last one, but I need some clean laps in the next one, so we'll see how we go.
I suppose one of your guys are frantically working on it. Is it a big fix, or are you going to be all good?
We've got Brent, who's my top chief guy. He's very good on the tools, so we'll get back out there, mate. Yeah.
Well, best of luck. Any sponsors you want to thank, because you might need them?
Zeal Construction, mate, all the way, yep.
All right, good as gold. Hey, thanks for having a chat. First time on TV. You weren't too bad.
Cheers, mate.
All right, back up to you boys.
Cheers.
So, yeah, a little bit of work on the Superstocks. Certainly there was a wee bit of a parking lot with 7 of them on the infield. Looks like the 69 car, is he returning? So the 9th row of the grid's going to have the 706 of Cody Haig and Trazan, Ryland, Annabelle. Then the next row, the 10th row, is going to have Tyler McPherson in the 136. He was to be joined by the 69 of Scott Manson, who won the Repechage. And
would really rip you, wouldn't it?
Yes, well, you could always argue you're giving everywhere just that bit of a head start. Behind those two will be the 16 car of Casey McEwen and Braden Lawton in the 224. The 416 of Josh Rarity will be joined by the 611 of Kahu Agnew. Then we'll have the 71C of Brooks will be joined by Connor Phillips, Craig Robb, and the 24 of Jordan Balk. And the last row, as we mentioned before, will be the 151 on the inside. The outside will be Eb Young. This is going to be on for young and old. There's going to be a massive push from the middle pack of this group.
Oh, exactly. And keep an eye on the 151. He is fast through traffic.
This is where, and I genuinely believe tonight, that tyre rule is going to have some effect.
Oh, bound to.
So the track is a little bit different. It's definitely different than when the Repicharge was on.
Yep.
And it's about guessing the right tyre pressures. I know everyone thinks they're experts in it, but
right rear, very hard.
It's going to be so hard to roll that one. As we are in the starter's hands, are we going to have any pushing? We have already got pushing on that inside line, and we're going to go racing though. As we head away, it is going to be Jack Honeybone leading us into turn 1. Here comes the push. As the 46 car pushed to the infield, it is Honeybone down the back straight. The pile comes in as we funnel into Enviroways. Harley Rob's hard on it. The 687 spun. Shy Rob spins. We've got a big pile up through there. We've got a whoa. Braden Lawton fires across the track. Hey, look at this, Ivan. Look at where Wade Sweeting's got to.
Yep.
He has come through about 15 to 20 places.
In one lap.
Out in front, though, it is the night. We go red. And I'm picking it's going to be for something over the far side because all these cars were moving.
They're all gone. Everybody seemed to be
7 to the infield, please.
calling somebody to the infield.
687 they've called to the infield.
You go to the 136, 59, 151. That's a fast group of cars.
A very fast group. And of course, last night, we didn't really call it too much. There was 6 relegations throughout the stock cars, and most of it was for pole line infringing.
Yep.
So when they get pole line infringed here, you lose 2 places for each infringement. So there was 6 of those issued out in the second round of racing. So we're keeping the eye on that as we go racing once again. It is the 934 leading us away. Back to Simon with the 9C, but the pack is coming through, and they're coming through very fast. The 9 car into the back of the 77, pushing them around. Honeybone car is very different than what it was this time last night. As Wade Sweeting giving Brad Rosemore the big hurry up down the back straight. We come through Shy Rob limping around. Well, I wouldn't say limping, she's at pace, but she's got the pack right behind her. Honeybone right behind the 411. She just pulls down low. She's letting him go hot wide, but he doesn't want to go round her. The car's pushing through the corner there as Simon in the 77 looking to come through right on the back of Honeybone now. The 9 car of Cox just slipping back into the pack a little bit. Dylan Robb goes up the inside of his sister. Harley Robb, he's going to go up the inside of his sister and possibly his brother too. So you got the 3 siblings right there at that pointy end. Further back to Wade Sweeting. He's going to wish he had a brother or sister out there. And Honey Brooks up by the wall as Honeybone down, tucked his way in, and Brooks there just moving over on Simon, allows Dylan Robb through, and he just pushed Dylan Robb wide. Harley Robb coming through as well. Henderson in the 5K. Harley Robb, he goes up the inside of the 77, gives him a little nudge mid-corner, unsettles him a wee bit. We'll drag race him down the straight. Tyler McPherson over the back of the 71 car. Tyler's not going to linger for too long. The 74 car into the wall down at 4. I think he's got a flat outside. He's just trying to limp it. Yeah, he is. No, he's got all the tyres are all up, but he was stuck in the mud. As Honeybone clocks up another lap. Dylan Robb right behind him. As the 416 going through the infield, something's wrong with him.
Yeah, he's not on the track.
Well, that is an issue. Dylan Robb right on the back of the 934. I think he's just going to hold back for a lap or so. He's going to, he's right, gives him a wee hurry up down the front straight. The Ace power plant shooting flames out. Harley Robb sitting back there in 3rd. Eb Young pulling to the infield with a flat right rear as well. So it is. Now it's Dylan Robb, and he is just gapped. Honeybone, as soon as he got past him, he just pulled a couple of car lengths. Harley Robb sitting back there in 3rd. Henderson battling it out with the 136 and McPherson. Just look at the lap times. 18.6. Oh no, that's a pull by Evan. I don't think that's accurate. And now we have Harley Robb looking on the back of the 934, just giving him a little bit of hurry up mid-corner. Harley unsettles yet.
Wade Sweeting just up the inside of the 136.
Yeah, Sweeting has come through. He's done a lot of work here. And McPherson just gives him the hurry up as well. Tries to run him a wee bit wide, costs him a spot or two. But it's Harley Robb who's got through on Honeybone. So it's Dylan Robb, then Harley Robb, 2 RRR chassis. Robb Racing and Repairs. And Harley's stayed low and he's picked a whole bunch of ground up on his brother. As they're into those back markers. How would you like it if it was a... Oh, Trezan sliding through the infield. How would you like it if it was a run-off at the end of the night between the two brothers?
Oh, that'd be gold.
The great thing is they both have got to fix each other's cars. He's put a couple of back markers. Murray Gregg and Brayden Lawton have got between.
White flag.
Oh, yeah, white's out. So Dylan Robb, he's just got to bring this one home safely. He's pulled the ears back and this thing is very quick. Harley Robb running second at the moment. Jack Honeybone started on the front row. He's in third. And then, whoa, with Henderson gives the 136 a huge hurry up. Takes him out wide. Rides the wall. And look at the Wade Sweeting will come through. Oh, he almost gets through on Henderson. But you want to get that aggressive that early. It will come back to bite you, especially with the 136 of McPherson. So the winner of that race was the 191 of Dylan Robb. Harley Robb in the 991 second.
Yeah, and looking at some of the lap times, as I say, I don't think Eb Young did the fastest lap.
No, not at that, not an 18 point. To be fair, he had I think it's when he crossed with the flat tyre.
Yeah.
So where did you start in that last one?
We came from grid 11, so grid 11 to second's obviously still good, and I'm pretty sure Scotty started next to me, so we both moved up, so within 1 point of each other, so yeah, hopefully we can gain one back on him in this one.
You've had a few problems with the car with gearboxes and stuff like that. Dad's been telling me there's been a fair bit of issues with that. Are you on top of those issues now? Did you find out what was the cause of it?
Yeah, so we sort of persevered with the same gearbox all year, but I've managed to purchase a totally different gearbox, so that was the first race in it and everything went well and everything feels nice, so fingers crossed it stays that way.
Well, I tell you what, we're really impressed, the Pits TV, with the way you've gone, so we're going to offer you a $1,500 sponsorship tonight, so we'll give that to you just because we think you're a good bugger and I think you represent the class pretty well, so yeah, welcome aboard for our team anyway.
Awesome, thanks Jace. Obviously awesome what you guys do for the sport, everyone loves it. Best stream out there, so thanks heaps Jason.
Any other sponsors you want to look after as well?
Obviously Malcolm's always been a big part of my racing, so Suck It Up, he's a massive part of it. And another person that's huge for me is Elite Wheels, so yeah, those two for now, they're awesome to me, and there's obviously plenty of others, but probably don't have enough time to say them all, but yeah, thanks heaps to everyone.
Well, best of luck, mate, and may you bring it home. Hopefully everybody gets behind you, make sure Brado Lennon puts it up the top.
Yeah, hopefully.
Right, big up to you boys, eh?
Thanks, Jace. Down to the pits there with Brayden Lennon. And back out on the track are Super Saloons for their next race of the night. Half of these cars you saw earlier in the first heat.
The cars on the outside row?
That's the ones, isn't it? Yeah, Ryan Marsden, Mark Osborne, Malcolm Nartai, Fluffy Grocott. The other Stockcars you didn't see in the first heat because they're the third group.
They were having hot dogs and chips in the pits.
Yeah, they were just kicking back and enjoying life, whereas the others were working hard. And that is the 34 car of Ray Stewart, the 8 car of Craig Carble, the new Canterbury Super Saloon champion from last night, the 27 of Trevor Elliott, the 881 of Matt Summerfield, and the 18 car of Greg Bardsley. That's right, yeah. Which
And
looks very fresh. I do like the way that's been put together, designed.
Former 1NZ of Pete Dixon. It was his first 1NZ Super
That was
Saloon,
the first Hypermac of his. Right, cool. So these guys are going to race for 12 laps. The second race to contribute towards grid positions for the South Island Super Saloon title. And away goes Ryan Marsden out the outside line, just getting the nose in front of Ray Stewart. He's pulling Mark Osborne through, and Stewart's dropped down to third place. Carple's tucked into fourth at the moment. He's got Malcolm Nartai hot on his tail. Grocot's in the mix there too, racing alongside Trevor Elliott, Summerfield and Bardsley at the back of the field. So Ryan Marsden keeping the back of that car out high and wide and finding some good grip. The only Lovelady chassis in the field, and it is doing the business. It's the car that he won the New Zealand Saloon title in. It's been repowered, it's got bigger wheels, but other than that it's pretty much the same chassis. And at the moment it's showing a clean pair of heels to Mark Osborne and the rest of the field. Osborne staying with him though, and it'll be interesting to see how the cars perform as the track dries out a bit. Already both cars running very high, getting their rear wheels into the loose material there, whereas most of the rest of the field are starting to only just realise that they should run higher. Now Summerfield's car's smoking again. We saw this last night, had some kind of oil feed problem, and it's doing the same again tonight. I'm not sure how much longer he's going to be out there. Ray Stewart's dropped back about 12 car lengths off Osborne. He's got Cardwell tucked in behind him and Malcolm Nartai on the back of him as well. We've then got a few car lengths back to the 27 of Elliott, the 73 of Grocott. Summerfield's pulled in, and that leaves Bardsley at the back of the field. So we're 5 laps into this 12-lap race, and still Ryan Marsden running down the back straight past the Value Cars Warehouse grandstand, holds the slimmest of leads over the 3-car, the 3NZ of Mark Osborne. These two have cleared out. They're racing each other, they're pulling each other through, and Ray Stewart, Cardwell and Nartai just have no answer for the pace of these front runners. Marsden pushes the back of that car out early. Osborne tries to keep the car a little bit more stable. You'd have to say that Marsden's car has that classic Speedway look about it. The new Stealth chassis, of course, being a 4-bar car, has that more modern attitude and line to it. Marsden goes very high there. Osborne keeps it down low, and they both come out more or less where they started. Osborne definitely, I think, has decided that he's got better chance of progress lower down through the turns now, whereas Marsden's trying to keep it out high, keep the corner speed up as he goes through. You'd have to say it's working for him. 9 laps down, 3 to go for Ryan Marsden. This is going to be a tight finish, because I think Osborne is possibly the quicker car, but he just hasn't quite got the speed on the part of the track he needs it, which is 3 and 4. And he goes in hot to 3 there, but he has to pull it up out of 4, and again Marsden just gets the edge with the higher line. Two very contrasting styles, two very different ways to get around this track in a Super Saloon, both equally effective.
Mark's got him here.
He's got him. He's going to hold him out high now. He'll push Marsden out high. The white flag's going to come out. Marsden won't have any of it. The two cars touch on the front straight, bounce off each other. Osborne fractionally ahead. Marsden's got the work to do now. He's tucked back in second place. Osborne in front for the first time in the race. It's the time that he needs to be, the last lap. He keeps it tight. Marsden's out very high and wide. Osborne takes it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see whether the result on the track is reflected in the result on
in the referee's room,
because it was very clearly one car moved over and up, and the other car decided, if you're going to push me back, I'm going to defend and push back.
Yes.
But they kept it seemingly tidy, but yes.
Depends how much rubbing is racing the referees are going to allow in this particular championship, but there you go.
I know my thought on it, but yeah, that was... what's really interesting when you look at the the 54 car, as I understand it, we talk about from the Saloon to the Super Saloon, the only difference is he puts a bigger carburetor on, roller rockers and a Burt gearbox.
Right.
Ignoring all the panel changes.
Yeah.
It's
not even a bigger engine, it's the same engine with different bits bolted on it.
Pushed harder.
Yeah.
So, but there was a great race up until probably about the second to last lap where it got a bit aggressive.
Total Access is New Zealand's largest providers of access machines, scaffolding and height services. Total Access stand by their promise of reliable service, making easy access. With access machines of all types, Total Access have the small machines right up to New Zealand's largest, with a reach of over 56 metres. With locations all over New Zealand, give the team a call today on 0800 Hire Now or visit their website at totalaccess.co.nz. Total Access, where height is within your reach.
Technical Welding Services Hamilton are specialists in the transit concrete mixer industry. From chassis drop-off to a full working concrete mixing, the team will take care of the job from start to finish. Full engineering services and general sheet metal work can also be undertaken. Need a quote? Call 07 847 2031 or visit our website www.techweld.nz. Technical Welding Services Hamilton, we are the experts.
Okay, folks, here we are down in the pits, and of course I got a chance to catch up with the winner of the first heat of the South Island Stockcars, of course, and it's Dylan Robb. Dylan, these Robb cars are absolutely flying, aren't they?
Yeah, no, they're going not too bad considering that one's its first outing, so no, we're pretty chuffed, eh?
It's pretty weird interviewing another Robb because I'm so used to interviewing the other one, so I don't really want to bring him into it. But let's talk about the track. Obviously, suiting your cars down to the ground. The guys in the Superstocks are saying there's a bit of drive on it out there.
Yeah, no, it's real drivey, and these things love like going in on the brakes and that. So yeah, no, it suits them perfect.
Now, of course, this is its first meeting, isn't it? So, and already you're putting it up on the top of the podium so far.
Yeah, that was its fourth race from brand new. So yeah, no, pretty chuffed to even finish a race, let alone win them.
And of course, you mean, obviously with the way that the success of the cars are going, you must be getting a few orders starting to come through for people buying Robb race cars. And I suppose if there's anybody out there that wants to get one, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Yeah, either the Facebook or just get hold of Harley or something. He's the social media bloody queen. So yeah, but no, we've got about 12 cars out there now. So another one in the process. So we're trying to get a few more down here and show them what they're made of.
What's different with your race cars compared to everybody else's? What do you do?
Oh, I don't know, just jump on the welder and weld shit together.
And I suppose there's no specific design, it's all in your head, or have you got a template for it, or how does it all work?
Oh, sort of just wing it, box of bourbon and start welding shit together. But yeah, we couldn't build these cars without good engine builders like Ace Performance and Midwest, it's a full package to, you can't just have the car, you got to have the engine and the driver and, go from there.
Ironically enough, this car that's doing the winning this weekend is actually for sale. So if anybody wants to grab a hold of this car, go for a bit of a test drive in it, come and see you, and you'll negotiate a bit of a price with them, will you?
Yeah, no, bloody oath, everything's for sale at the right price, but you might as well jump on this one while it's still straight.
Well, and obviously, it's still winning as well.
Yeah, we'll see what happens in the next one.
Okay, tell us your sponsors just quickly.
Just myself, Robb Race Cars, and massive shout out to Ace Performance for a wicked engine, and shout out to the daughter for her 13th birthday. She's up there, bloody somewhere.
Good stuff, righto. Well, you said one interview, so you've done your one interview now. The only thing is, if you do win, you'll have to talk to us again, all right?
Nah, just pre-record that one and play it again.
We'll drop off the F-bombs out of it, eh?
Yeah, bloody oath.
Righto, folks, back up to you, eh?
I love the strategy and design. Ivan didn't have his headset on, so I didn't hear that one, but basically it was I better not re-quote him. Box of bourbons and weld the car together. I think there's a bit more strategy in Dill's designs than that. As our street stocks are out for their second heat of the Canterbury Street Stock title. Travis Slade and Brock Peterson look like they're going to be the front row of the grid. And fairly aggressive in the first race there, Tony, for the street stocks.
Street stocks weren't they? They were absolutely going for it. Something in the water, but let's see if the second heat settles down or ramps up even further.
The Waimak District Council stuck chlorine in it, yum.
As with every other district around the country these days, unfortunately. Huranui's had it for years. I have to buy mineral water for my coffee machine. You've got the giant coffee machine, haven't you? Yeah.
What does the BMW take?
Petrol. It drinks petrol at the same rate I drink coffee, actually. But anyway.
Actually had a good friend of ours years ago buy a Rolls Royce, and I said, what do you do with it? He goes, I fill it with petrol.
That's all
I do with it. As we're in the starters' hands, Slade will be, he's the front row, go back to Brooke Peterson and Kahu Epaha. And we're clutch
come
testing
on,
them.
Mr. Referee. What's go? Oh, there we go.
There we go, Glen Racing. Let's just make sure the clutches are nice and warm so they're real grippy.
Yeah.
Anyway, we head down.
Look at Peterson make up multiple places there off the start.
There's a pole line, Peterson. Oh, Goat spins. Oh, nowhere to go. Matty P picks him up and flicks him round. Now, we know that Simon Bland... Oh, 29 car getting into the back of the 433, who's getting into the back of Bland. And the McGregor car gets into Jones. So Matty P looking to cut his way through. Brooks out the front. He slides on into the 15 of Turner. Slade slipped back about midway through the pack. Where's Goat going? he's in his
doing his own little thing at the infield.
Going down to see the family at turn 4. Anyway, out in front it is Brooke Peterson, followed by Kahu, followed by Stevie P in the 28. So all we need to do is throw Matty P in there at the front. There we can just about have a family, well, I say family reunion. They all live out here. Anyway, and the Goat is on the pole line. That is just scary when you don't know who he's grumpy with. Brooke goes through in the 428, followed by Kahu staying very wide on the 46 car. Stevie P, what is he going to do? He's going to look up the inside. He does. Now the Goat can't do too much, otherwise it's a reverse flick. As the 77 goes through of Schumacher. Schumacher followed by the 777 and the 433. That's who's not out there, Norton Gowns.
No, he isn't either.
Sora.
Simon Bland slowed right up.
Yeah, that's ominous. When the two wagons are out shopping, and you know they've got enough space in the boot to put you in. But it is Brooke Peterson, followed by her father in the 28 car. And then we go back to Corey Schumacher as the guy. He's after Ben Turner. But we're just about going to have to put a little platform there for him, just on as he comes back onto the front straight. The 36 car, Simon Bland's just going to get into the back. I mean, we had to wait till he got on the track. Patience was a virtue there. So Schumacher having a look up the inside of Steve P, and the 36 car gets put round in front of our race leaders. So Brooke Peterson now, Corey Schumacher goes up the inside of Steve P, and we're on the slower car here. Simon Bland running, and Schumacher decides to run into him. And Matt Peterson not 100% certain what Simon Bland's up to. Oh no, he knows now. Simon Bland's gone in, he's flicked him round. So that's going to hurt Matty P's chances big time. He was getting good points there, but Bland is still circulating slowly. So if we look at there, we've got 3 laps to go for these guys.
We were 4 wide on the front straight there momentarily.
Yeah, Brooke Peterson and the 27 and the 77 777 car battling it out. So we've got the Goat and we've got the 29 car getting run off the end there, is he? No, he just gets the big hurry up. Matt Peterson, he's going to either consolidate. White flag is out for Brooke. Bland is slowed big time. He's having a go at Mike Jones. He is, he's got into him. Gets out by the gate. Oh, Jones, red light. Red. So it'll be interesting for the repositions on this one. We'll wait for the...
There was a wee bit of contact after the red. Accidental, I'm sure, but it was there.
94 being sent to the infield. Now, when the red came on, Simon Bland was at the start-finish line. And so it'll be interesting. And they left him where he was. It's checkered goes out to Brooke Peterson. And interesting finish there. The 46 car getting pushed by Dwayne Kennett. Actually, he's been pushed off the track, so the Goat won't get any finishing points for that one. So 94 car was sent to the infield. I didn't pick up from the referee what that was for. it runs the risk of being a very, very tame final or an absolute bloodbath.
Absolute ripper.
So
Well, a Peterson siblings won each of the first 2 heats, so that's, you know.
I
Shame they can't amalgamate the points and just say, oh, it's a family win, you know. Steve will win the last one and we will claim the title, yeah.
Well, Steve pays for all of them anyway, so it's...
Alrighty, a man from Dunedin that's come a long way, about 300 k's away, is this man here, and he's only a young fella too. His name is Shannon Simon. Shannon, mate, you are the youngest person to ever qualify for a South Island title at age just 17.
Yeah, it's pretty unreal. Didn't really expect that coming in. I just wanted to qualify and to come 5th in my group and then come 5th in that last heat. It's pretty good.
Mate, it's just incredible. I mean, it's such a good thing to see not only you coming up from Dunedin and the only Dunedin car as well, but also a person that's qualified. I mean, is it a bit of a buzz just to even get into that top tier?
Yeah, pretty much. Fucking unreal. Just trying to follow Dad in his footsteps, really.
Okay, so we learned after allegations in that first heat, you're now up to 5th spot. So what is it about now? Is it just protecting that spot and perhaps just making sure that you can carry on to probably get as high as you can?
Yeah, probably just want to try and protect my front wheels if anything, especially the outside ones. Don't want to go around the corner and just whole competition's over for me.
Well, it's the same for everybody, isn't it? It's a bit of an annoyance, that law, isn't it? Outside rights go down, especially at a title level. You think that sort of maybe sway a little bit towards it, be a bit more lenient, but what's the plan? What is it, just keep it quiet?
Oh, we'll see what happens.
You got any mates out there? Like, I mean, is there going to be anybody that's going to help you out?
Oh, Trey Zahn's over there. He's a secret D, if you want to say that. And then, other than that, not really.
You got to try and make some mates before you go out there for the next couple of heats?
Yeah, I've made a few, so we'll see if they are my mates.
Are you also going to help out if they need your help?
Yeah, well, if the next heat doesn't go to plan, then we'll see what I can do for anyone else.
Well done, mate. Hey, good sponsors. Who looks after you?
We've got Custom Signs, Rumors of Eternity, Turahia Fishing, Clements and Stevens, A1 Auto Wreckers, and Aquaflow Plumbing.
Well, best of luck, mate. I don't want to jinx you, so I'm not going to congratulate you or anything. I'm just going to let you go out there and do the job and bring it home for the guys in Dunedin, eh?
Sweet, cheers.
Up to you, boys.
Thanks, Jace.
Was that a dead possum he was on the back of his head, or was that a mullet hanging out the back of his hat?
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, neither you or I can comment on hairstyles, Ivan, but
yeah.
We've dropped one Superstock by the looks of it.
Yep, by the look of it, we're in the starters' hands. Can't get through the grids, but off the front we've got Berry and Lennon. And we're away and racing. Who's going to get us into turn one? Berry looks like it is at this stage. Lennon goes up high, looks a wee bit greasy. Scotty T, here he is, sitting up in 3rd spot. Alex Hill, he's coming up the inside of all of them. Shane Harwood's on there on the outside as they go into 3 and 4. Still a wee bit greasy. Alex Hill pushing up the inside. Braden Lennon down the outside. Berry's in the middle as they go through 1 and 2. The 32 of Mitch Berry, he's leading us on this stage over the 4C. Here's Braden Lennon up the inside of Berry. Alex Hill sitting behind him. Scotty T's just there. Shane Harwood in the 693. Then we go back to Malcolm Nartai, Darryl Wallace. Then we've got Ian Clayworth in the 7. And behind them, we've got Sutton. He's there. Jake Berry, Hearn. Riley Evans in the 7. Caleb West. Happy Paul and the 999 of Cam Rain, but let's go back up the front. Alex Hill's leading us at this stage, just goes up a wee bit wide, opens the door, Braden Lennon looks at that. Alex Hill just sitting there, gets pushed up wide a wee bit. Scotty T, he's there and thereabouts. Riley Evans just got spun up there, he's just pulled off the track as he's approaching the front straight. Braden Lennon leads us, guess who's in behind him? Scotty T. Then we've got Alex Hill in the 95, back to Nartai. Then we go back to the 32 of Mitch Berry. In behind them, the 557 of Daryl Wallace. Then we go back to the 693 of Shane Harwood. Jake Berry in the 23. Then we go back to Clayworth, West, Evans, Sutton, Hearn, Happy Pool, Cam Rain. But our race leader at the moment is Braden Lennon in the 4C over the 95 of Alex Hill. And behind those guys, we've got Nartai. He's moved up past the 808 of Tennant. Then we've got Berry in the 32. As they come off, another lap down. We've completed 6. Cam Rain spun up, middle of the turn 1 and 2. Everybody seems to avoid him at this stage. Malcolm Nartai up the inside of Alex Hill, taking over that second spot. He's actually flying. Hill's trying to give a wee bit of bumper work to Nartai. Hill's getting a wee bit from Scotty Tennant, but Lennon's still leading us as he comes past the start-finish line. Over Nartai, Alex Hill, then we've got Scotty Tennant. Oh, something's happened to Hill's car, it's just died and just stopped. He pulls to the infield. Cam Rain's bouncing off the wall in front of the lead pack. Scotty T and Mitch Berry have managed to avoid him. Braden Lennon still hanging on at this stage. Over Nartai. Nartai's about to put a bit of pressure on Lennon. Then we go back to Scott Tennant, the 32 of Mitch Berry. Then we go back to Daryl Wallace, Shane Harwood, Jake Berry. Then it'll be Zach West. But up the front, they're coming up against some of the back markers. McMillan in the 88, he just stays up high, out of the way. Braden Lennon, he's being followed by Malcolm Nartai, who's right on his bumper now. Lennon pulls away from him as they go down the back straight. Go into 3 and 4. These two have opened up quite a big lead. Scotty Tennant's picked up their third spot. Mitch Berry's dropped a couple back. Lennon still leading us over Nartai as they go through 1 and 2. Then we go back to Scotty Tennant, Daryl Wallace, Shane Harwood, Mitch Berry, Jake Berry, Caleb West. Track's blacked off a wee bit. Who's got the running at this stage? A lot of cars limping up round the wall. McMillan's up high. Lennon's gone past us again. He's about to come up behind Riley Evans in the 7 car. Evans just moves up a wee bit. Lennon goes through. He's opened up about 2 or 3 over Nartai, who's got about 12 over Scott Tennant in the 808. West is spun up there. Just gets clipped. Malcolm Nartai, and we go red.
Yeah, it was just in the wrong spot. Brado, it was a coat of paint.
Yep.
But it was enough to unsettle him, and it gave up Nartai the opportunity to go up the inside. Having been parked there, it's not a nice spot.
Oh, definitely not.
You're looking out going, oh, come on, guys, just make sure you see us.
And the worst thing is for the Lennon and Nartai, they would be looking and setting themselves up for that corner and would have picked up Caleb sitting there at the last minute.
Well, you set yourself in about where Clayworth is about where you turn in, and that determines where you're going to come out. Not everything, not all of these cars can change lines abruptly to avoid a parked car.
Yep. And we're about to go racing. Lennon got the good start. He's hard on the bumper of Nartai as they go down the back straight. So, he missed a gear by the look of it. He's back up into the race mode. Nartai's now opened up a couple of car lengths over Lennon from that restart. Scotty T's still sitting in third. Malcolm's about to come up against some lap traffic. Malcolm's up high, Lennon's down low as they go down the back straight. It's opened up the door for Malcolm. White flag's going to come out this time round. 32, Mitch Berry, he goes to the infield. So white flag for Nartai in the 19C machine. Braden Lennon in the 4. He'll be sitting in the second spot. Will these back markers play a part? Scotty Tennant still holding that third. Lennon's probably just a wee bit far back. Here he comes. He's going to have a look. Nartai's down low. Lennon's a wee bit lower. But no, Nartai's going to take this one, the 19C. Cylinder head specialist over Braden Lennon in the 4C. Then we go back to Scott Tennant. Daryl Wallace will pick up that next spot over the 693 of Shane Harwood. Then we'll go back to Jake Berry. And now think it'll be Ben Hearn, Ian Clayworth, Ollie Sutton, Happy Paul, that'll round out your top 10.
I need to hold on to.
At Wholesale Tyres in Whakatane.
Need truck tyres? Wholesale Tyres. Good tyres, better prices, great people. Anderton Decorators are a long-established Canterbury company covering the whole of the South Island who love to support their local community. If you require expert advice from design to application, then Shane has the expert team to ensure your next project is hassle-free with a professional finish. Floor to ceilings, walls to roof, inside, outside, commercial or residential. Let our team take the hassle out of your decorating. Give us a call now on 027 Painting. That's 027 724 6846. Anderton Decorators, we have you covered.
Alrighty, well, I don't often catch up with this man. It was probably a bit of a timely time to catch up with him only because I was walking past him. So, Michael Harris, mate, it's great to actually catch up. We were just talking about it before. It's been a long time since you've been on camera.
I don't even think you've ever interviewed me, to be honest.
Well, there you go. Here's your chance. Here's your moment of fame to be famous. But, Michael, you're here for the South Island Stockcar Championships. How's your weekend going?
Started off shit. I blew the gearbox going through scrutineering last night, so it put me up for last night. But I went through the repecharge, got 4th on a very wet track, so made the final and then started 14th, finished 14th. So,
well, I mean, you've always been a pretty quick sort of a machine, but all the machinery around you is starting to get pretty up there, isn't it? I mean, I'm looking around the track now. She's pretty awesome. Cars floating around out here these days, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I think I'm starting to be like a mid-pack car now because those Rob cars, they are just next level again, so I think I just need a few more updates to try and keep up.
What about that? Would you ever consider perhaps changing chassis, or are you quite happy with the old girl?
Well, I really like that car, so I have thought about getting a lamp-built car. So, I just don't know yet. I've got other things in the pipeline and life situation, so yeah.
What is your car? What brand is it?
It's a J-Rail from Leach Motorsport. So, originally was Jamie Hamilton's stock car. And then he run it as a super stock for a season and then sold it. So it's about 10 years old now.
But he's obviously still out there, still having fun, and we always used to see it all around the place. I mean, I think I've seen every letter of the alphabet on that car, eh?
It's only been... Oh, yeah, probably has been, actually. Yeah.
All right, you got some good sponsors. The car always looks $1 million. Who looks after you?
So I've got CVP Contracting, Urban Auto, Car Yard in Christchurch, Hammond's Collision Centre, and hey, I'm open to more.
Absolutely. If you want to come and check it out, you're on Facebook. Where do we get to see you?
Yeah, so it's Aris Motorsport on Facebook. Just go on there, hit likes. I'm pretty slack with updates, so that is what it is.
It is what it is. All right, mate. Well, best of luck for the rest of it, eh?
Sweet. Cheers, mate.
I'm not going to break away just yet. We're going to slide all the way down here. And we got this man. He was pretty entertaining for us at the New Zealand Stockcar Championships. I know he's getting ready to go and have a race. But Jack Honeybone, mate, 934T. Man, you've been up and down and round and through the country. You must be just about ready for an off-season, are you?
Yeah, I definitely am. Actually, am very much looking forward to
So watch those lights,
going back
watch
to work
those
properly,
lights.
which sounds strange, but yeah, it's been a busy 3-4 months.
I mean, that's what it was about. Your old man sort of gets the car all sorted out, ready to go, and you just basically got to go and do your thing, don't you?
Yeah, well, we run a bit of an interesting operation. I'm obviously based in Auckland, and he's based in Invercargill, and that's why we race out at Cromwell, which sounds strange, but I do a bit of flying down there, and then this year we were lucky enough to do a bit of a North Island tour and get stuck in, and now we get to finish it off with a meeting like this.
Absolutely. I'm going to go hand it over to the boys because I see the racing started, but stay here. We'll be back. Oh, no, carry on. That's here. We're going to carry on. All right, mate. So, obviously, you give us a bit of entertainment the last time we caught up. You're at the New Zealand Stockcar Championships. Any major damage to that?
Nah, not really. A bit of a bumper corner, which was kind of my fault anyway, which we replaced. I had 2 really flash wings and squashed both of them in the last 2 meetings. So we're hoping to keep the single wing alive this race. So, 2 to go, and then we can pack it up and put it on the truck.
Okay, so where did you get in your first race for the New South Island Stock Cars?
I think we ended up second after a couple of relegations. So started 1, finished 2. Mid-pack grid now, so we just got to try and get somewhere in that top 10 and then see what we can do from there.
The boys on the rock, do they take the piss out of you, for being stock car? I mean, do they watch the footage and go, God, Jack, you need to sort it out?
Yeah, massively. They also have no idea what they're talking about, so I have to try and not care too much. But yeah, it would be great if they had a bit more of an understanding. I think they went on air the other day and started talking on my behalf about some things that I didn't actually say. So I just got to take that on the chin and move on.
Maybe we need to organise something for them. Maybe as a sport, we need to get these guys into a stock car with you. So there may be a bit of revenge there.
Oh, the old, what, the 2-seater or car each?
No, car each, eh? We'll find some sucker that will own them a car, eh?
Absolutely. I'd love to give Rog a little tickle up in one of these things. That'd be a bit of fun, eh?
Okay, sponsors quickly. Who looks after you?
Yeah, The Rock, DRM, Donut Race Motors, Fast Lane Spares, Young Engineering and Marine Services in Invercargill, and obviously the old man and Paul, all the work that they do. Couldn't do it without them, so big thanks.
Yeah, best of luck for the rest of it. Where'd you finish your first race?
Yeah, second, so yeah.
And do it. Righto, mate. Good luck.
Thanks.
As our stock cars wind down in the 7 more laps to go in the consolation racing, as the 252 getting into the back of the 27 down into Enviro Waste. The 197 well out in front at the moment. In fact, he's making it look pretty easy as we move back to Lodge with Hardy battling there. Tama Pearson, the 18 car. Now, isn't he in the finals, Tony?
I'm surprised that he's out there, I have to say. Yeah,
I'm just having a wee. He got 15th in the final, so he's actually doing the cash races as well. Sorry, the consolation races. As the
it's all track time.
The 197 pushed to the infield there by the 252 and just about climbed up over the side rail as a race leader. Probably not exactly what you want to do.
Peyton's not had a good meeting, has she? And I think she's decided to go out there and play.
Well, she's got to give Conrad something to do.
I've got the.
So, of course, she's the daughter of Conrad Wilson, who was a Superstock campaigner here for many moons.
Yes, that's right. Oh, it was a while back, wasn't it? Yeah.
Now he's crew chief, so now he's going to get some upskilling, though. So, the 197 of Jack, but out and there's the 252 rejoins, and she's going to have a crack. She had a swing at Ben Lodge. He's seen it. I think he doesn't want to have her chase him down to the corner. No.
He's overcooked it.
He has, and she'll just roll around there. Hardy's coming around. Well, if there's going to be an entertainer of the night, Peyton's going to have a crack.
Wilson's the one, yeah.
And Tama's there as well, but it's interesting that Tama's doing the consolation races, and Peyton Wilson just plows into the back of Hardy. She's not scared of using the bumper. She has actually dabbled in teams racing at one of the Federation tracks.
Okay.
And
yeah, she's giving him a hard time, there's no doubt about it.
If you ever saw her, you would not think she races a stock car. She's having a look here. She's going to have a crawl. She had the line up on the 27.
Just didn't have the horsepower. But
the scary thing is, there's another one in the family to come.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, she takes the 12 car out wide, just carries him out. Now the thing is, they know they can get past her, but they know that she's running those mirrors at the moment. She's making it a night. She's making it entertaining for us. What checkered flag is out, so the 197 will come through for the win. But no one really wants to go past the 252. Ben Lodge up the inside. No, she dives down to the pole line, protects that pole line. Lodge is going to have to run and you're going to have a crack. Hardy has a swing and a miss at the 252 as they cross over the checker. Right, as we're back on the results from the stock car race, Obviously, we say the relegations. There was the 611, the 33T, the 74C, 14C, 416N, 687C, 46C, and 69C, all unclassified. So out of the 30 cars, 8 of them not classified, 3 relegated. So the officials were busy. Now, we're not going to give you the Super Saloon results because they kind of mean nothing, but clearly they're allowed to hit tonight.
Because with the results that we've been given, there was no alteration to the top 3 of that last heat, where we saw a little bit of argy-bargy and contact, and we wondered whether or not the referees would interpret it in certain ways, but they haven't. They've let it go, and that's it.
The reason we're not giving you the points is because it doesn't actually matter, in the sense that they're racing groups. 2 races in groups, and so it doesn't actually mean anything.
So until that third race of the final 2 groups happens, the points don't mean anything.
A third of the group have actually not even been on the track. So, well, they've been on the track
once, but not twice, whereas the others have. So
and then in the street stocks, leading us at the moment, the 428 of Brooke Peterson on 18 points, followed by Corey.
33 points.
Oh, 33. Sorry, whoops, wrong line. 33 points. Corey Schumacher on 31. Maddie P on 30. Then we go back to Steve Peterson on 30. So
of the top 4, 3 of them are Petersons.
Then 29 is Mike Jones is on 28 points. Now it's interesting there because he is coming under a lot of attention from Simon Bland and Sean Andrews. So, but then they drop 6 more points down to Trevor Slade. So really the top 5 cars to keep an eye out: Mike Jones in the 29C, 28C of Stevie P, Matt Peterson the 433. The 31 points, the 77, Corey Schumacher and Brooke Peterson. I just think it would be awesome if Brooke could take it away.
Yeah, it would. It'd be great.
I actually think
a lot of people support her, I know.
Stick that I have probably given her over the last wee while, I'll probably get paid back going through the pits.
You will. Wouldn't it be amazing all 3 Petersons ended up on the podium? That would be
I got a funny feeling the 433's got a bullseye on it.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Maddie, if he gets through, we'll have to defend. And to be fair, between Matt and Steve, they like getting second a lot.
Yeah, they do, don't they? Yes.
So it's going to be a battle for who can get second.
They sure do. Meanwhile, out on the track, whilst we're blabbering on about points, it's the modifieds have come out of the gate and ready to have their second race of the night.
I got a piece of my heart that's covered in gold. You know I'm one of a kind, or so I've been told. No matter where we go, I know we're gonna make it. No matter where we go, I know we're not alone. We face it all cause now we know that we can take it. We face it all cause we go big or we go home. Dance like you made it and you found it all. This is paradise. Dance like you made it and you found it all. This is paradise. This is paradise. Yo!
Anyway, we're about to go green and racing for modifieds, and we're kind of 3 wide there. Not sure how happy the judges are going to be with that, but anyway, they'll probably let it go. It's just a cash race. And the 24
We're racing 4 contact rates tonight.
Cash, not crash. The 24 of Dan Ray leads Jacob Mitchell. A few car lengths back to Gary Lennon in the 9 car, who's got ahead of the 49. Luke Keegan coming through from near the back of the pack. Corbett in the 22 staying ahead of Cassandra Massey, and Nickel dropping off near the back of the field. So about to tick off another lap 2. That's Dan Ray in the 24 car. Mitchell looks a little quicker, but he scrubs off a lot of speed in the turns there, whereas Dan Ray is able to keep his corner speed through, and it's helping him terrifically here. So Mitchell needs to get it just a bit more wound up and a little less on-off, as Mitchell drifts very high on the track there, and I felt nearly contacted the 24 car. If he does that aggressively again, it could end in some tears for someone. But Dan Ray holds the track position at the moment. He holds the lead. Mitchell again slides deep across turn 1 to set himself up for the exit of 2, and it doesn't really work for him. Dan Ray, with his tail out in the loose high on the track, is getting the better traction, and if anything, pulling away slightly from Jacob Mitchell. Lennon's got no answer. Evan Nichols pulled off on turn 2 there. Not sure if the lights will go or if he's off the racing surface, in which case we might be able to carry on.
I think he is off the racing surface, but he's got reverse. So.
Oh, he's got something happening there. Some parts of the car rotating. That's good. The 24 of Dan Ray still leads down past the Value Cars Warehouse Grandstand, through Enviroways turn, onto the front straight now. 7 laps completed for Dan Ray, and he's got a cushion of a couple of car lengths over the 18 of Mitchell. Those two have pulled away from Gary Lennon. He's not in the contest. Lennon, he just can't close on them. Evan Nicol is just, well, I hesitate to say pootling along in a modified race, but definitely not on full noise, as Ray and Mitchell will look to pass him down the back straight. And that just allowed Mitchell to close up a little bit on the back of Dan Ray, so white flag, 1 to go. Will Mitchell really try and throw it in and get the final pass done, or will he accept second in this case? Dunno. Dan Ray, tricky customer to get past. Ray keeps it high, Mitchell keeps it low. I think the high line was the better line. Dan Ray takes the win. Jacob Mitchell second, Gary Lennon third, Luke Keegan came through for a solid 4th place. The quickest lap time, a 16.16 by Jacob Mitchell.
It's gonna be too much for us to bear. I don't need to tell you that it's over. You can probably see it in the way I stare. And you know if I'm the one who goes, this is gonna be too much for us to bear.
As our stock cars line up for their second heat of the South Island title. Houston Jr. on the front there with Trezan. And we move to get there in the 3rd row. I'm just going to have a wee look here, which will be the 69 car. So it doesn't look like Scott Manson's out for that one. He was due to be beside the 224 of Lawton. Now, we know the refereeing's different now for these guys. They know they're going to get pinged for pole line infringements. So if you remember, go back to last night in qualifying, pretty much anyone that passed on the pole line or over the pole line. And then the second race they started getting pinged. Now tonight they got pinged from the first race, so 1 or 2 of them might be a little on edge now.
Yeah, I'd say so. Mate, the concrete's for getting there, dirt's for racing on.
I've always maintained that we should put an Armco on the pole line. Nice people, about a 2.5 to 3 foot wall. Then no one seeks sanctuary either, just quietly. Okay, 1 gap out there, 29 cars. Let's go racing. We're in the starters' hands. We're away. Houston Jr. leads us as the 416 just gets spat to the infield on the start. Clattering, crashing in the mid there. There's a big cloud of dust. We're going to assume that all came from off the track. Spinning as...
Oh, massive pile up.
We're trying to look who's in there. We can see that the rock car's gone round of Honeybone. And is it McHugh? Oh, no, it was 9 caught up in that. There's Lawton spun and he clips the 24 car as they come through. It is a bit chaotic in the first few laps here. It is Houston Jr. back to Trezan with Wade Sweeting and Tyler McPherson muscling his way through with Craig Robb. The 5 car looks to be retiring. The 14 car is also on the infield. Some drivers are having a rough night tonight. The 5 car slaps the wall as he came off turn 4. And Dylan Robb in the 1901 just gives the hurry up to Honeybone. Out in front though, Houston Jr. back to Sweeting, passing through to second spot. On Trezan, and McPherson's got the move on. McEwen sitting there behind the 911 of Craig Robb. So what's happening in that mid-pack? Cody Haig there battling out with Henderson. Here comes Dylan Robb. Dylan Robb looked to go through. Big wall.
They just blow them out of the way into the corner.
Yeah, and he crosses up in front of Dylan, so it's given Henderson a bit of a breathing space, and Harley Robb pops through on his brother. Yep, if you're going to get on the brake, once you get the tap, you're going to get put round. So the race leader, it is still the 74 GM, but Sweeting is catching him back to Tyler McPherson. And we got a little bit of a Constantina effect there with Simon, Shy Robb and Horton. Murray Gregg was caught up in all that. Murray Gregg given the hurry up there from Brad Rosewarne. And the 435 car spat out to the wall. Murray Gregg just muscled out there by the 59 of Rosewarne. And the 18 car given a little bit of a tickle to the 59 of Rosewarne. So getting into the action, the 706 spinning at turn 2. Our race leader under pressure now as we head through Enviro Waste. Wade Sweeting giving him the morse, telling him he's there. Puts the nose up the inside of Husty. And they're about to drive into spinning cars as we come into turn 2. Red light is on. Red.
Be interesting to see what that's for.
Wait for the clarification. No one on the infield is being sent out. So, I know. The 5 car there, when he went to idle down, man, did it sound like it was over fueling.
Yeah.
C, can you reverse up until I tell you to stop, please? 151 C. Keep going. Keep going.
611.
Right there, thank you. 74 GM, can you reverse up until I tell you to stop, please?
So they're pulling the 74 car back as well. They put 611 of Kahu Agnew on the infield. Not sure what that's for. Now, to be fair to Houston Jr. and Wade Sweeting, they were virtually touching bumpers.
We're right there, thank you.
They've got them back. So we've lost 4 cars so far, 5 cars. Phillips, Young, Rarity, Agnew and Honeybone are on the infield, and our race leaders are at the end of the grandstand. Third on the track is Tyler McPherson, and he's done near the length of the back straight back on the 151 and the 74. And we'll go back to Trezan, but on the front straight here there's going to be a good battle down by the pit gate. Sweeting giving the 74 car the hurry up he needs on the start. Rosewarne, he was off the back of the pack. He's come through into battling about the 8th or 9th spot at the moment.
And he's just barging his way through.
Trezan just gets the hurry up there from McEwen. And Cody Haig was in the midst of that. Trezan will swing back down. Our race leaders, they're battling, they're side by side, and they're actually they're getting into what we refer to the back markers. And I think Sweeting has got track position on the 74 car, so he's able to hold Husty out high. Coxie just gets out of the way in the 9, just pulls up high, and Sweeting will go through, but Houston's going to come back at Sweeting as we head through onto the front straight, clocking up another lap. We have 5 to go, so we're in the hands of Wade Sweeting, and we look to see where the other battles are on the track. Harley Robb out by himself. He's gapped the 191 of his brother. As the 687 weaving a fair bit. He got into a battle last night with Brad Rosewarne. That's why we're going to need new sign writing on the Koken sign on the infield. And Rosewarne won't take lightly if he gets impeded by him. But Rosewarne runs down. Doesn't seem to have the same pace that he had earlier in the race.
No.
In fact, if anything, he's given a whack there, so he's falling back. Big time falling back. If you look closely under the bonnet, you can actually see the manifolds are glowing. It's almost like it's too lean. And Brooks and Aris just getting out of the way. Red light is on. We're a red light, and we've got one that's still very clearly rolling. That'll be interesting.
Obviously something's not quite right with the car, because Houston Jr., he's shaking his head there.
Well, he was up behind Brad Roseborn, and then under the red he just kept rolling and rolling. It's like he's got no brakes.
Yeah.
But they've seen something on the track.
Oh, a coil up on the fence.
There's a
coil spring up on the catch fence.
The spring retainers work well.
Yep, they're good. High tensile.
Good spotting, to be fair, because it's in front of us and I didn't see it. That being said, who's missing a coil? A bright red one. I wouldn't mind picking. It's off the 934, which means it's been sitting there for a long time. Now, what are they going to do about the repositions there? Or are they just going to leave it as it is?
There's people waving their arms about down the back.
Oh no. Someone's waving. Yeah, it's
down the back of turn 4 there was Houston's waving his arms. He was.
Yeah. So I think Houston may have lost his brakes because he just did not stop.
No, he's all right. There was somebody else waving. I don't know if it was
right down the back.
Right down the back, turn 3 and 4.
Oh, Dan Cox in the 9 car.
Yep.
Arms are out.
Thinks he's an albatross.
Well, the great thing with arm restraints and you can't quite get your arms out the windows anymore. So the 9 car, he is going to get pushed to the infield for old Cox, and they're putting the 74 car back. So we knew that was going to happen, but he needed to be told to do that under the red. As we just check.
What have we got? 3 to go.
It is 3 laps to go. Our race leaders, where are they? They're in the back of this pack. We're in the middle of this pack. Are they?
Yep. As Houston Jr. is running second, so Wade Sweeting must be just in front of him somewhere.
Yeah, it is. Brad Roseborn is slipping back into the pack as well. Something's wrong with the 59 car. There we go, racing. There we go. And I think Houston's just trying to get some momentum and just sort of stay out of trouble. Eris is pulled to the infield in the 521. Sweeting comes through. Where is he? He is underneath the 411 of Shy Rob. He will get the white flag as he comes through. He just has to keep it tidy. Murray Gregg there trying to do some work there with the 18 car. Houston Jr. gives him a wallop, and Lawton gets into the side of the 74 car. Now, the problem here is, look in your mirrors, Dave. It is the 136 behind you, and I think he knows. He's hoping that Houston overcooks it. He does. And McPherson's going to duck low here. He's going to get the second spot, and it's going to be an ELS mount to it for second. Wade Sweeting taking away the race win, and it was Tyler McPherson that got second. So Wade Sweeting, fastest car in that race. Probably not a huge surprise as he weaved his way through.
Yeah, so Wade Sweeting.
Yellows are rolling, drivers.
Craig Robb.
This has been a Harley Robb finishing 6th, Dylan Robb finishing 7th. This is going to be a real mix-up in the points now.
Yeah, please, 151C to the scales. Then we go back to Dion Henderson in 9th, and Jordan Volk rounds out the top 10.
This is going to be a shuffling of points.
Oh, big time. Yep.
And you know, because there's a sort of a theory in stock car racing that's nice to be around about that 5th spot going into the final race, because you can guarantee that there's some first and second are going to come under some attention. But it's not even clear who the obvious first is. I mean, Wade just won that race, but he got relegated 6 spots in the last race.
Yep.
So it really is going to be a bit of a mix-up. I'm picking our red coil as off the car that has the red coils, which means that was hanging in the fence there, because he's slumped over, I think, on the left-hand side.
near the back. Yes, at the back in the last row. You've got to say that Cardwell from mid-pack here is going to be worth keeping an eye on, isn't he? Well, say mid-pack. He's actually second last row, but yeah.
He got some very good points last night in his qualifying races, but he won it in the feature.
Yeah, he did.
So it's having
some drivers like to scrap and pass cars in front of them. Some like to stretch their legs out the front. But Cardwell's got the talent to do both, and to do both very effectively. So again, a driver you never write off. Let's see, lights are out. We're about to have 12 laps, the last heat of the Super Saloon heats to decide the grids for the final race tonight, and away we go. Bardsley and Johnston side by side. Johnston gets the nose in front from the inside line. He's pulling the 6 of Lawson through. Always contact further back there. Summerfield and Elliott had a coming together between turns 1 and 2. They both got back going again, but they're down at the back of the field. Johnston's got the legs on Lawson. The 18 car in third place. Oh, Lawson's gone round. Spun himself up on the infield in a big cloud of dust. And he's right off the racing surface, so there's no reason to hit the yellows. He limps back onto the track, and he's half a lap down on the leader he was on his tail a lap ago. So Johnston leads the race from Bardsley in the 18 car, having a great run there. The 8 of Cardwell has made his way through to third place. A bit of battle between Mackay and Richie Taylor there. Further back, Burson's coming through. Elliott's got some good pace. Ray Stewart just a bit quiet at the back of the field there.
He was getting tangled with Summerfield.
881 of Summerfield, yeah. Not an easy night for either of those two drivers. Out front, another lap ticked off. That's 4 down, 8 to go for Greg Johnson in that 77 car from Central Motor Speedway. He's got it fair humming now. Here comes Cardwell around the outside of Bardsley. Passes him easily enough to take over second place. Mackay and Taylor will have been seeing that happen and thinking their chances of getting past Bardsley are improving a little bit. Bardsley looks to be just dropping off a little bit as the track starts to dust up and slick up. So Johnston noticeably just a little less aggressive and a little bit more cautious and tentative now. Not so Cardwell, who's still throwing it in, lifting that inside front wheel as he goes through turns 1 and 2. Bardsley coming under the interest of Mackay and Taylor now as they close on the back of him. And I think they're going to scrap it out for third place pretty shortly. But we're 7 laps into this 12-lap race now, and Cardwell is getting closer and closer to Johnson. And I get the feeling with 5 laps to go, we could see a change in lead before the end of the race. But for now, Johnston taking the higher line, Cardwell keeping it tight and low through the turns. Bardsley holding off Taylor, who's just got the nose in front of Mackay. A couple of car lengths back to Burson, who seems to be enjoying these slicker conditions, and he's got a good go forward at the moment, whereas Elliott, Stewart and Summerfield are still racing at the back. Out front, as they go across start-finish, they're virtually side by side. Cardwell just getting his front wheel onto the ripple strip there, and he's tucked in behind the 77 of Johnson. Bardsley doing his best to hold off Mackay. Burson's team seems to have got past Taylor. Just 2 laps to go now for Greg Johnson. He's having a fantastic race here, holding off Craig Cardwell, who's throwing everything at him, changing his line a little bit, trying his best to find that extra bit of grip that'll get him past. And Bardsley, Mackay, Burson and Taylor just all locked together in that battle for third. 1 to go, white flag. Greg Johnson. Will Cardwell have a dive up the inside here into turn 3? He's done it before last night. He gets alongside down the front straight. He'll hold his line into 3. Force Johnson out higher. Johnson's got more pace on the high line, but Cardwell's got the track position very close on the start finish. But I think Cardwell got it. And Bardsley just held on for third place there. Good racing from him.
And credit to the 8C crew. They had a car. Craig had a car there that could run the high line, run the low line, and he didn't have to think about which one it was. He just had to put the car where it needed to be. Where the space was, yep.
But
that battle for 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th was getting pretty intense there. Bardsley was having the fight of his
of his career, really. That car was going super well, and he was driving super well, but the pressure he was under was something else.
Always be behind, 'cause girl, you gotta let 'em know that you mean it, you mean it. 'Cause girl, you gotta let 'em know to keep those hands away from you. So, girlfriend, you gotta get it right. Girlfriend, you gotta learn to fight. Girlfriend, you gotta get it right. You need a man to keep you down, 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 Girlfriend, you gotta learn to fight. Girlfriend, you gotta learn to fight. Girlfriend, you gotta learn to fight.
Are you looking for new tyres for your car? At Mag & Turbo, we stock and fit original specification tyres for every brand of vehicle, including Range Rover, Toyota, Mazda and Porsche. We are also the preferred tyre supplier for many of Christchurch's leading vehicle dealerships, and we pride ourselves on having the very latest fitting equipment and a team of staff with the best knowledge in the tyre industry. So if you're looking for new tyres for your family car, sports car or four-wheel drive, then get down to the number 1 Mag & Turbo Tyre and Service Centre.
Are you building a new commercial business or home? Or is it time that your existing premises had a repaint anywhere in the South Island? Then Anderton Decorators have you covered. From floor to ceiling, wall to roof, Anderton Decorators offer the latest techniques, equipment and technology to make even the hardest tasks seem simple. Anderton Decorators also has the expert team to take the frustration out of your next project. Call Shane today on 027 Painting. That's 027 724 6846. Anderton Decorators. We have you covered.
Oh, the deep, dark depths of the pits is where we're at now, and of course this is Luke Malloy. Luke, mate, I don't know what's going on with your car. Last night it wasn't performing that well, but you're obviously finding something now, are you?
Yeah, it was a wee bit, the setup was a wee bit off last night, but yeah, we managed to sort it out this morning and had to change the gearbox this morning, and yeah, no, she's really hooking up now, and it's a lot easier to drive and a lot more drive coming out of the corners, and yeah, it's going good.
I bet your road cage is quite high, eh? Because, man, you're a tall bugger, aren't you?
Yeah, I've got to fit me in somehow.
I feel like I should be on a frickin'. I feel like Bianca, actually. You know, she's really short and stuff, eh? But obviously you made it through to the big show, though, and that's probably the main thing, and not such a great finish in that last race. What's the car doing? What's the track doing for you?
It's pretty slick out there, a wee few ruts and that, but yeah, just trying to fucking stay out of the shit and keep the car in a straight line and not get caught up and spun out and spat out and pinballed, and yeah, just trying to fucking hammer down and keep her going.
It's good. I've never heard so many F-bombs in so many times, so that's good. So obviously, you know, there's a bit of practical work going on in the car, to the point you drop your mouth guard and it's shoved down the side of the gearbox, so you got that back, and I see we've got a big tyre issue going on here as well.
Yeah, a wee bit of damage on that one, but nah, we'll get her fixed up and get out for that last heat.
Right, good sponsors, mate?
Yeah, got Nigel Malloy Joinery, he's the old man, he helps me out a lot, and yeah, tows me up to all over the show and whatnot, and then we've got Young Engineering. He done an awesome job on the cage and all new side rails and bumpers and that, and then Queenstown Carpet Corp Queenstown, that's old Nev.
Steve Peterson off the front there.
And he comes to every meeting, travels from Queenstown.
Eddie P just 2 rows back.
And yeah, also thanks to Craig making a good engine, and then Dale for all the pointers and set up helps and.
Got to go, mate. I got these guys are screaming in my ear, so we better go upstairs.
As Street Stocks complete the first lap, it is Mike Jones, followed there by Stevie P. Then we have the GOAT in the 46, followed by the 36 car. Steve Peterson gets very loose coming out of 4, and Matt Peterson into the 31. It allows Brooke to go through. So at the moment, looks like.
Need to keep an eye on 77 Schumacher as well, because he was up there on points.
I think the 433 might actually be running block for his sister.
Yeah, could be.
Out in front though, it is the 29 of Mike Jones. He can do no more. but the chances of him running across a block car are relatively high. Give it about a lap. As Simon Bland circulating down low, and he gasses it, and he's lost that. He actually has got a flat outside tyre, so he's got to pull in. Doesn't have a choice, as the coach has just been spun there by Steve Peterson. And Brooke Peterson there, held out high by her brother. So he's actually going to race it as well. Jordan O'Connell isn't in the points. So they actually, we've got to find the paperwork. We're going to lose track of where we're at. As we look through there, Schumacher's the dangerous one, and he's into the back of the 46 car, and I think he just got tagged by the 73 car of Jamie McGregor.
So that's dropped him back a couple of places.
So the 29 car of Jones, he needs to be 5 places ahead of Brooke Peterson to take away the title. Now, Brooke, where is she? She's sitting behind Maddie P.
At the moment, Mike Jones is the race leader on the ELS.
And Brooke is 6, so they're almost in a run-off position if those two finish up. So from Brooke's perspective, she probably needs her father and brother to drop out and let it pass. As the 433 is taken out the wall by McGregor. McGregor's decided to do some carnage. That is going to put Brooke forward through. She's right on the back of Aitchison. So Steve Peterson running second at the moment. Matt Peterson, he's out of the points. And he is going to, he has a swing and a miss at the 73 car. He'll run it into the corner. And I think he's hoping the 73 car is going to come chasing. Once you do that, you can get on the brake. Kennett's running away. He gets a wallop there from the 433.
That was a big hit.
It was. And the 73 car
bounces off
him. Gets walloped there by Steve Peterson.
Stephen takes his front wheel out.
Matt Peterson sitting on the pole line.
Waiting for his sister to go through. As he know the car's died, I think.
Yeah, he's actually on the infield. So, no, he's going to keep going. So, out in front, though, it is 29 of Jones, Steve Peterson. Then, ELS is kicking out for me. Wait 10 seconds, that'll tell us what's going on. Brooke Peterson running third. If she can stay where she is, she will be the category champ.
She'll take it out, yep.
So Steve Peterson...
Oh, checkered flag.
It is. And
Steve
Peterson gets second. Brooke Peterson for third. So Brooke Peterson at this point will be the Canterbury champ with Steve Peterson. He will be second. Matt Peterson and Corey Schumacher. Oh, the 23 car ran straight. Matt Peterson went to hit him as they came across, and he ran straight to the grass. The 94 car's got his wheel dug in the track here. Put the inspection light on the dash. That was but there we have it, race fans. Out of all of that, it looks like Brooke Peterson is our new Canterbury Street Stock champ.
We'll update you when we get the final points through.
I'm quietly quite pleased for her.
Yeah, I think a lot of people here will be. Long-time competitor in the grade. I don't know how many years she's been racing street stocks. It feels like a long time.
And trust me, you would not pick her as a street stock driver when you meet her.
No.
That being said, her brother was getting into doing some fair hits, and a few of those cars like running to the grass.
Yeah, there were a few, weren't there?
You can be big and brave, but if you're going to be big and brave, stay there and take your medicine.
Yeah.
Here we are, of course, down in the pits with Craig Cardwell, the winner of that last race. Craig, started off, starting to go get the go forward that you had in the meeting last night, so you're starting to find some form, are you?
Yeah, I was just a bit free in the first one, unfortunately. The track's deceiving, always get caught out here. But we threw some spinners at it and it went forward then, so it's good.
I mean, the car seems to be hooking up when it hooks up, all good, and that's what, that's the all you can ask for, really. So what changes are you making for the next heat?
Not too much, Jay. It's probably just maybe some fresh rubber. The car was pretty good then. The track's the track, so we're presuming it's going to start laying rubber, so we won't go too far, and we'll just, new rubber and send it.
I mean, there's a couple of extra cars compared to what we had last night here. But I suppose it doesn't make any difference to you. They're all sort of doing the same sort of thing. So what's the plan of attack now? I suppose just try and get in as high as you can in that feature race, is it?
Yeah, I think we should be on the first row or second row, hopefully, and just, feel it out, 25 laps, save the tyres, and,
try and make it work in the last 10.
It's amazing, mate. You're going pretty good, and hopefully you get that chance to take away something from this South Island trip before you disappear home. South Island title will look quite good on your mantelpiece, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, like obviously grew up here watching Dad race, and I've just really can't get my head around this track, so it'll be nice to take something away, definitely.
What's hard about it? Is it that tight turn up in turn 3 and 4?
I don't know. It's just an omen, I think. Like maybe I actually don't know. I 3 and 4 I do struggle, and maybe I just misjudge the car setup sometimes, and it's all my head, I think just clear your head and just another dirt track and do it, and I'm just trying to go down that path, so hopefully we can do it, and if we can't, we can't.
Well, you can only do what you can do, can't you? But best of luck for you must have one heat left, have you? Or is it just straight into a feature now?
Yeah, no, it's at Jace, 2 qualifying heats, so had a first and a fourth, so hopefully it's enough to be in the front 2 rows and hold on for the 25.
Good luck, mate.
Thank you. Cheers, guys.
Right, back up to you, whoever.
I guess I'm whoever.
I must be whoever too.
Whoever's whoever, though, boys, eh?
It is. So, of course, first championship crown for the Knights. Canterbury Street Stock Champs, done. And subject to all the rulings and other bits and pieces, it looks like that's gone to Brooke Peterson.
Yep.
We have the 50-50 draw here. So if you bought a 50-50 ticket tonight, it'll say meeting 12. And it'll be ticket number 322. If you're ticket number 322, please come to the control tower down the door down the bottom here, and the ladies will love to see that ticket and give you your prize for the evening. And now we move into the Superstocks, Tony. It is tight, not Tony, Ivan. Tony's been standing behind me, Ivan's to my left. It is tight at the top here with the top 3, but even Daryl Wallace, Sauce in 4th, it's only going to take just something small, and he's on the podium as well.
Well, when you have a look at the grid, Sauce, if that's the way they're forming up out there, Sauce is obviously off the front row. Malcolm, who's tied with Scotty Tennant and Braden Lennon, he's sitting just in behind him. Scotty T and Brado are further back. So they've got all the work to do. Where Sauce, all he can do is try and bag maximum points. Malcolm, no matter what, he's going to try and win it.
And it looks, as we just scan across, that we may only have one car out. We may even have the full grid. Don't see Alex Hill, but I'm happy to be corrected. No, he is. Yep, Alex is. So, yep. And I see Mike Hislop has rejoined us for the final heat as well.
Yeah, exactly. So they're gridding up Daryl Wallace in the 557. He's off 1. On the outside, McMillan in the 88. Then back on the inside, Malcolm Nartai in the 19. Then we go to Jake Berry in the 23 on his outside. Alex Hill in behind Nartai in the 95 machine. Then we go back to Caleb West on the outside in the 34. Back on the inside, the 44 of Ollie Sutton. Then we go to Riley Evans on the outside. Back in behind Sutton is the 10 car of Hislop. On the outside, the 999 of Cam Rain. Then we go back down onto the inside, 7N, Ian Clayworth. Then we've got Hearn on the outside of Clayworth. Back to the next row, on the inside, the 693 of Shane Harwood. Then we've got a gap by the look of it.
Fieldsy was supposed to be there.
Yep, so we'll go back, and Scotty Tennant on the inside, in behind Harwood. On the outside, Robin Wilson, Braden Lennon, and then I must be Mitch Berry bringing up the rear. We're about to go green. We're away and racing. Let's see who's going to lead us through the first corner. Big pushing, Malcolm Nartai. He's pushed his way forward. Alex Hill will want to win a race down here. Don't you worry about that. He's going to break late. Try and get up the inside of Nartai. He has done.
Oh, Hislop takes a 7 car straight to the wall.
As they come off turn 4, Hill, he's leading Nartai as they go into 1 and 2. Nartai pushes him up high. Daryl Wallace is getting under a bit of pressure from Shane Harwood and Ollie Sutton. There we've got Caleb West. Scotty T and Braden Lennon have made up quite a lot. So these guys are fighting for the top spots as well. But Alex Hill, he's leading us at this stage. Bit of mayhem going on further down the back. Nartai's just given Hill the bumper and blown him out wide. Now he's shot up the inside of him as they go down the back straight. Oh, Sutton's been turned round by the looks of it. The 34 of Caleb West. Scotty T got tangled up there by Mitch Berry as well. So our race leaders come past us. We've got Nartai over Hill. Shane Harwood's moved up. Daryl Wallace has moved up. Braden Lennon, he's sitting in that 5th spot at the moment. Then we go back to Jake Berry, Mitch Berry, Scott Tennant. Caleb West just gets going again. So our race leader, Malcolm Nartai, comes past us. Then we've got Alex Hill in the 95 machine, Shane Harwood in the 693. Then we go Darryl Wallace, Braden Lennon, he's shooting up the inside of Wallace. As they go down the back straight, Wallace has got a bit more gas as they go into the corner. Lennon's trying to outbrake him through 3 and 4, drives it round. Nartai and Hill still bumper to bumper, the first and second. As they go through, Nartai's up high, Hill down low. Shane Harwood sitting in there watching all of this. Braden Lennon and Darryl Wallace fighting it out for that 4th and 5th spot. Then we go back to Jake Berry, Mitch Berry, Scott Tennant. So our race leaders coming up through the traffic. Malcolm Nartai just up the inside of the 10 car of Mike Hislop. 95, Alex Hill still sitting in there behind him. Hislop gets a bit of side slap from Nartai as they come through. Here comes Shane Harwood. Braden Lennon's got past Darryl Wallace in the 557. So he's taken that spot cleanly at this stage. Nartai comes past us again. Then we go back to Hill. Shane Harwood. Here comes Braden Lennon. What's Harwood going to do? Mike Hislop, he's just sitting up high. Darryl Wallace is still sitting in there behind him. Lennon's coming into turns 3 and 4. Hislop goes up high. Harwood's down low. Lennon's down low. Lennon's trying to get up the inside of Harwood. Harwood slowing up. He gets away again. Alex Hill still on the back bumper of Malcolm Nartai for the 1st and 2nd spot. Darryl Wallace is just sitting there watching. Jake and Mitch Berry in between the 808 of Tennant. Then we're going back to the 44 of Ollie Sutton and Robin Wilson. Hill spins, so that leaves it open for Malcolm Nartai. He's now got quite a good lead. So it's his South Island title to lose. Shane Harwood picks up that 2nd spot. Then we'll go back to Braden Lennon sitting in 3rd. Coming up on the back of Mike Hislop. Darryl Wallace. Hislop spins himself. Oh, Berry straightens him up though.
Very quickly.
As they come past us. Nartai still leading over Harwood. Then we go back to Braden Lennon in the 4 car. Darryl Wallace. In behind Wallace, we've got the 23 of Jake Berry, 95 Hill, 32 Mitch Berry, and Scott Tennant in behind them. Scott Tennant's going to want to make up some gaps here to get on the podium. Otherwise, him and Sauce, I'm thinking, are going to be pretty close for that 3rd spot. Wallace is sitting there in 4th at the moment. Scott Tennant just in behind 3 other competitors as they go off turn 2. Jake Berry. Then we go back to Hill. Hill shooting up the inside. Scott Tennant shooting up the inside of Mitch Berry. But Malcolm Nartai still leading it at this stage. Over Shane Harwood in the 693. Braden Lennon sitting in that 3rd spot. Then we go back to Darryl Wallace. Alex Hill in the 95. Jake Berry. Mitch Berry. Scotty T. He just can't get through. He's shot up the inside now. He's going to try and outbreak him as they go into 3. Tennant's down low. Picks up the spot over Mitch Berry. Takes that spot. Sparks coming off the wall. Who's that spun up just in front of the leaders? That'd be the 88. So, Malcolm Nartai, he streaks ahead of Lear. He gets the white flag this time round. Then we go back to the 693 of Harwood. Braden Lennon sitting in that 3rd spot. Then we go back to Darryl Wallace in the 4th. Lennon up the inside of the 7 car of Riley Evans. But Malcolm Nartai comes past the checkered flag and probably will be your new South Island champion. Then we go back to Shane Harwood, Braden Lennon, Darryl Wallace, Alex Hill, Jake Berry, Scott Tennant, Mitch Berry, Cam Rain, McMillan, Robin Wilson, Ollie Sutton, Mike Hislop, and Ian Clayworth.
Okay, so if we were to believe the points out of all of this, Malcolm Nartai will be the new, the 24, I'm going to say new because I'm not sure who's actually the current South Island champ.
No, it might have been Harley.
Could be Harley.
Could be Harley, maybe.
So anyway, he'll be the new South Island champion for 2024. Braden Lennon looks 2nd comfortably.
Yep.
3rd, and we do a little bit of a count up. Sauce had to beat Scott Tennant by 4 cars. He beat him by 2.
Oh, Scotty T.
So the balance of the pack didn't do it for him. So that will put Scott Tennant 3rd on the podium. All subject to review, all subject to the way the numbers fall out.
And stuff
and
like that.
You've had to give me a whole bunch of paperwork. So Shane Harwood was the fastest car out there at a 19.27. And we're going to go through to the points after we've had an interview with Matt Summerfield.
Well, I think it's only right that we actually catch up with Malcolm Nartai at some stage after this as well. Obviously done a fantastic job there for the South Island title, pending relegations, of course. But, of course, I was just walking past Matt Summerfield, and I always like to catch up with Matt. He's a bit of a rally star, so to speak, and he's been doing some speedway for a while. But we haven't seen you a lot this season, so just a quiet one for you, was it?
Yeah, pretty much so far. It just hasn't sort of panned out with a few dramas along the way. So, yeah, still enjoying the stuff we've been doing, and try to ramp it up towards the end of the season.
Is it still Josh that owns the car, and you're sort of got the drive on it, or are you looking to get something for yourself?
I'm not sure at the moment. I really like running with Josh and the BRT team, so if we keep that relationship going, that'd be pretty cool.
Okay, so how's your South Island title gone so far? Canterbury Champs last night. Give us a brief rundown on that, and how do you think you're getting on in the South Islands?
Canterbury Champs was a struggle, really. Just chase setup. We were a little bit too tight early, and then we probably should have left the car, and we went a little bit looser, and it was too loose. So, and then had a power steer line split in the feature. So that was a bit of a rough night.
Now, of course, a completely different track tonight too. Seemingly, it's quite a bit drivier out there than what it was last night. Are you finding the setups okay again, or does it just throw you a spanner in the works for you?
We're a lot closer tonight. We're definitely learning every time we go out in the car. So. We're a lot closer. We need to sort of tighten the car up a little bit more for the feature, I think, going into it, even though the track is a little bit better than the end of last night.
Oh, well, the only thing we can do is sort of wish you the best of luck. Where do you start in the feature?
Off the back, I'd say, mate.
Oh, well, there's only one way forward, isn't it?
Exactly, that's the one, mate. That's the one.
Good stuff. Well, hey, well done, mate, and your best of luck in the feature race coming up very shortly. Any sponsors you want to thank while you got the chance?
Yeah, of course, BRT and Gypsy Royal. Alston Eldercare, Autotech Services and Worth, and just a big thanks to the Bolton family for putting me in their awesome car.
Well, there you go. Best of luck, mate. So, of course, to Jared, I think you got some nice results up there for us.
I do, and to be fair to what Matt just said here, he did pull the feather off the tail for the Super Saloon final. So he's got a lot of work to do there. So 3NZ will start on pole for the Super Saloon feature. On the outside of him, it'll be the 8C of Cardwell. Nartai will be in the second row with Greg Johnson, and then Richie Taylor with Fluffy in the third row. We'll roll through those grids as they come out. The stock car consolation is out now, but yes, points-wise, some drivers have really had a hard night with the Super Saloons tonight.
Mark Osborne took it out with 19 points. Craig Cardwell had 17, Malcolm Nartai 16, and then Greg Johnson was on 13.
When you're getting 10 points for a win and you're only accumulating 20 points, it really is just highlights how important those wins are in those first races.
Absolutely.
As you look through. And we also have some points here for the stock car final. This is going to be very, very interesting. Comfortably at the front, it's Tyler McPherson. But we'll come back to the stock cars very shortly when we actually look to where, just going back to the Super Saloons there, Malcolm Nartai will be exhausted, and he's got 25 more laps. He's just taken away the South Island title, and he's going to be on the second row for the Super Saloon feature.
You want to see the sweat coming off this bugger's face, man. Seriously, it's quite incredible, really.
Natural glow.
Natural glow is for sure. Malcolm, it looks like you've done enough to do the job. That's only the job half complete, though, because you're on the second row for the Super Saloons, that Jared's just telling us. So you've got another battle coming up, haven't you?
Yeah, we've still got the final of the Super Saloon, so I don't really care about that now. It's been a while since I've taken the South Island title out, so yeah, real happy with that.
Absolutely, and of course, just played it cool tonight, just did what you needed to do. I see you put the bumper in a couple of times to push some people out of your way, and especially one that tried to push you out of the road, so revenge is sweet, isn't it?
Yeah, a bit of mongrel back in me. It's like the good old days, but if you don't use your bumper, you're not going to get anywhere, and yeah, there was nothing too bad in it. Just, hey, scoot, Noddy, get out of the way, you know.
Well, it's got to be good for you, though. I mean, you know, you've sort of you've got a lot on your trophy cabinet. There's no two ways about that. So South Island title, does it actually mean much to you?
Yeah, it does. You know, like we're still here in the South Island. You know, there's a lot of cars in Nelson, and these boys will start to go pretty good. So, you know, they've actually made me pin the ears back. Braden Lennon, man, he's going really good smoking. So I was glad James Fine wasn't here with his car, because he would have been another one. But yeah, obviously you can see Jaden wasn't in that car tonight, so I'll take the titles when I can.
Absolutely, and of course Brado got second, by the way, so that's a pretty good effort for him as well. And one of you, somebody you support quite fondly, don't you?
Yeah, I've been friends with the family for a long time. Hi, Alex. I wasn't going to hit your son. I don't know about Steve, but Alex. And so I've been friends with Alex and Steve since the kids were born, and it was always Braden Lennon's dream to race me. And as competitive he is, I'm just so proud as punch that. I was with the kid when he was nappies and grown right for his whole life, driven mini stock cars, and it's an honour to race with the kid.
Oh, absolutely, and of course there's a good field of Superstocks here for a South Island title as well. I mean, there's nothing to be sneezed at. It wasn't an easy win. It was certainly a good battle, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, and I just put the bumper in early when I had to. Even in the second heat, I got rid of a couple of cars for some points, and I wasn't leaving to the last one to make my mark. We had an engine problem in the first one, so I had to drop back to fourth spot. I reckon we could have got up the front, but I had West on my arse, and I was only running about 6 cylinders, so I just let him go. There was no one behind him, 2 more laps, and just cruised on home, but it made it hard for the final.
Right, we asked your sponsors before. I noticed the race is about to start, so better hand it back over to the boys upstairs. But congratulations. Let's see what you can do and get on the podium this next one, eh?
Yeah, and thanks Challenge Wymack, and hi Emma at home. Couldn't make it tonight, but I'll catch up with you later for a drink.
Okay, there we go. Back it up to you boys.
As our stock car consolation race carries on, there's been a fair bit of bumpers going in, and of course we've got the 18 and 521 that are in the final out there in the consolation race, and the 252 of Peyton Wilson, she's determined to hit just about everything. She's given
Yeah, absolute entertainment plus tonight. We did get the results for the street stocks. Perhaps we'll just wait till this race finishes and the noise drops away, and it will give you those.
It looks like it's almost like Spice Girls tonight. Girl power out there as it's going.
Oh, Peyton gets walled by the 12 car.
Yeah, she was focused on the 706, but it hasn't slowed her down. She's just going to lay back into the 12 car. Backs off him. Oop. And go. Away we go. At the moment, Tama Pearce and Michael Harris battling out for the lead. Oh, 252 car onto the infield. As we roll this one out, our race leader is Tama Pearce, followed by Michael Harris. It's interesting, they'll be running this race, just be glad they're not getting any damage, so they can go out and do the... Oh no, Harris pulled straight to the infield there, didn't he? I don't think he actually crossed the start-finish line as he came through. Or did he? Anyway, the street stocks. So we've crowned a new South Island Superstock champion.
In the form Falconato, yep.
We've now got the grids for the Super Saloon final. We have finished our Canterbury Street Stock Champs, and Brooke Peterson has taken it away by 2 points over her father, Steve Peterson. I told you Matt and Steve like coming second.
Yeah.
And Mike Jones 1 point further back to take third overall. So Brooke will go on to, she becomes so many phrases I'm going to have to trip over my tongue there. She's on the Woodford Glen calendar next year. So.
And she'll be the third Peterson to have won the Canterbury title, because I'm absolutely certain that both Steve and Matt have won it before.
I think so. And there we look at the stock car points. Now this gets interesting. As we head towards our final race for the stock cars, modifieds are in the chute now, so we're not too far away from the stock cars. Tyler McPherson at the moment in the 136C car is 4 points ahead of Dylan Robb in the 191T, 2 points ahead of Harley Robb in the 991C, 3 points ahead of Craig Robb in the 911C. So
just as the Peterson family are kind of up there in the street stocks, the Robb family are doing the business in the stock cars, aren't they?
Now Wade Sweeting is in fifth. Now I jokingly said earlier, often you want to start these races in fifth spot.
You did say that.
And
yes.
there's good reason for that. We've seen it with super stocks and stock cars over the years. He's on 48, 1 point ahead of Dion Henderson in the 5K car on 47, Shannon Simon on 46, Casey McEwen on 45. As we start dropping down into the 40s, realistically, the only way you're going to win the title once you fit that far down is by a lot of these cars at the front not finishing.
So it's really down to McPherson, the Robb family, Sweeting and Henderson. Yeah.
And it certainly looks like there's going to be a lot of work. And there's still one or two other Robs in the pack.
Yeah, that's
as we go down to Jace.
Look, honestly, this is absolutely gut-wrenching, of course. We just found out that, Brado, you've just come down from upstairs. And what's happened?
Yeah, so in that last race, we sort of moved through the pack really well. I think we were within 1 point of obviously winning the South Island Champs with being tied with Malcolm, but I don't think I would have quite got there. I would have had second, but unfortunately we've been relegated 4 spots for going over the pole line.
That's rough though, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's pretty rough. I feel like on that track, I'm pretty sure a majority of the field were using it to their advantage, and I seem to be the only one up there, but I mean, it's racing, you can't really dwell on it. Hopefully I still get a top 3, which I'll be happy with.
Well, we know you're definitely second, so that was 100% confirmed. But yeah, with that relegation, it doesn't always work out so well, does it? Does he know? Does Dad know?
No, he doesn't know yet. That's probably why he's still got a smile on.
Hey, Steve, you better come over here and listen to this news, mate. So, unfortunately, he's been relegated 4 spots.
Oh, no, really? 4? That's a few. So what's that mean?
I'm not sure. Hopefully we still sneak in for a top 3, but I think we've lost second.
Well, that's, I don't know what to say, mate. I mean, we're all sort of, hoping like heck that you were the person that was doing the job and, bringing home in second. And Malcolm was just saying about how he used to change your nappies or something like that. I can't remember the conversation, but this is not ideal, is it?
Yeah, it's a bit of a shit way to end it, but I mean, that's racing. I made the mistake, so I can't complain too much. I tried to sort of talk my way around it, but he was pretty set on it. So yeah.
Well, 1 spot though, mate, not 4.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I was trying. I was like, oh, maybe just 2 spots, but nah, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. Well done to Malcolm on first, obviously a childhood hero. So being so close to him in a major championship like that's awesome. So yeah, we'll move on and get on to battle the stocks.
Broad shoulders, mate. Oh man, I just feel sorry for you. Oh well, I mean, I'll go and let you go put your hands in your head and all that sort of stuff. And boys, what do you think of that? It's not ideal, is it?
It's not ideal. It's gut-wrenching, and for the life of me, and to be fair, we get to see as much racing as anyone else. I don't know what moment that was.
No,
I can't think of a moment where you go 2 spot. Or that implies to me that he's passed 3 cars on the infield, and it just doesn't make any sense. But I don't wear the right colour hat.
Watch out this time round, everyone.
So
watch out this time round.
Modifieds are out there. Chunks Corbett, Worth.
Nobody passed number 11 until you've exited
Sandra Massey on the outside. I was trying to figure out whether it was the 48 or 49 or the 11.
Jacob Mitchell and Evan Nicol on the second row. Keegan and Andrew Navin in the third row. In the back is Dan Ray and Gary Lennon. And they're about to go racing for 10 laps. Their last tour for the night, the modifieds. Nice 3-wide start there. Not for the first time in this grade tonight, but anyway, we move on and Jacob Mitchell gets to the front. I doubt anyone will reel him in from here, to be honest. Cassandra Massey doing her best. There goes Navin screaming up the outside in Kevin Band's car, which he's driving for the night. Gets past Massey, who's having a good night, I have to say, in that 11 car. 22 of Chunks Corbett's in the mix there as well. Dan Ray's come through from near the back, dragging Luke Keegan with him. The 9 car of Gary Lennon just hasn't got anywhere to get some go forward happening at the moment, and Nichols dropping to the back of the field. So out front, Jacob Mitchell, all on his lonesome, leading this race down the back straight through Enviro Waste turn. He can pick his line, he can pick his nose, he can do whatever he likes because he's got the track pretty much all to himself there. A 16.70 on that last lap. Next quickest was Navin with a 17.30. So you've got 0.6 of a second that he's putting on the rest of the field, Jacob Mitchell, and just a masterclass in modified driving. A little bit of contact up there in turn 3. Was that Keegan and Lennon, I think, possibly swapping some paint. But out front, across the start-finish line, 5 down, 5 to go. The 18 car of Jacob Mitchell, with every lap increasing his lead over the 48 car, Kevin Bann. Andrew Navin driving that car tonight. No slouch as a driver, Andrew Navin, and that car well set up and a pretty quick car in both his hands and Kevin Band's hands over the earlier races this season, but no match for Jacob Mitchell, who just careers from turn to turn gracefully and rapidly. On the back of Nickel there, passing him round the outside as if he was standing still. And just 2 laps to go for Jacob Mitchell. Down the back straight, past the Value Cars Warehouse Grandstand, into Envirowaste turn. Back onto the front straight to pick up the white flag, just 1 lap to go. He's not far off getting on the back of Gary Lennon. So about a lap Lennon after 9 or 10 laps is a pretty mean achievement, you'd have to say, for Jacob Mitchell. He's slowing up a bit there, realises he's done everything he needs to do. He brings it home. There's the checkered flag. A lapse time of 2 minutes and 54 seconds. And I'd have to say that might be one of the quickest 10-lap modified races we've ever had here at Koken Woodford Glen.
Certainly motored on through that.
Yellow.
So they've been told to as even Nickel comes through there, finishes off the race. Now, Superstocks. We've obviously heard the drama. Malcolm Natai still South Island champ. Scott Tennant, by 1 point, takes 2nd spot. But this is where it gets interesting. 3rd spot on 49 points. Braden Lennon and Daryl Wallace.
Oh, okay. So we're going to have a runoff.
So that moves to the 3rd place runoff. Also in that race, the 693 car was relegated 2 spots as well. So we're fairly busy with the contact grades relegating.
Back up a little bit more, please. 521, back it up.
There we go.
Wait for the green, guys.
In the starter's hands. This is the South Island stock car title. We get away. Eb Young just lets it happen. Sweeting looks to that inside line. Craig Robb sitting back in there. Henderson's looking to he's cut through. So Eb Young has been fired in by Murray Gregg. I think Harley Robb was on the inside of all of that. Aris has gone around. As Houston Juniors ended up in the wall out. There's been some chaos on the back straight. It is the 151 Sweeting back to Henderson. And I think it was Dylan Robb that was caught up in all of that. So he's lost the front right, he's out. Aris is out. Yeah, so Dylan lost the right front tyre out of that incident on the back straight. As the Murray Gregg spat to the infield. So Henderson running 2nd on the track. Does that moves him into 4th spot overall? Craig Robb, flat tyre for Houston Junior, so he's pulling to the infield.
Look how far up McPherson's got.
Yeah, McPherson's cut through. And I think the incidents that were going to happen, unless Harley Robb has a good crack at him, there really isn't going to be. Oh, Robb's into him. He spins him round, takes the spin, flicks himself. Murray Gregg pulling to the infield. And McPherson, he only loses about 3 or 4 spots out of that spin. It's just whether or not, but there is no one circulating low. So what's happening is happening at speed. Out in front, Wade Sweeting. Not much he could do. Craig Robb will be sitting comfortably in about 2nd or 3rd at the moment. As we look to see Noah Is Honeybone slowing up? McEwen's out there as well. And here comes our race leader. He's going to come through on Honeybone. Honeybone just moves wide on him. And he has a crack at the 151, and he'll be taken to the wall for his efforts. Henderson, he gets, well, Honeybone can't quite do it. He's got to use the pole line to get through there, and he has to back out of it.
He's just going to watch what's going to unfold. Is Honeybone going to have a crack?
Well, if he is, he's going to have to do the big kamikaze. And Sweeting, I think, has got the better drive and the better car speed. The thing is, if you're doing it to help the likes of Dylan, unfortunately, he's on the infield. And now
he just pulls aside and lets Henderson through.
Yep. So he's going to drop back down to that pole line. Now that means that Wade will have about 5 or 6 laps, and they don't. Craig Robb's having a look at him. No, he doesn't want Craig Robb. Doesn't want Harley either. He had a wee sniff there. Harley looking up the inside of the old man. McPherson.
The old man's trying to push Harley down.
Yeah, he's opened the door here, and Harley's just going to hold him up. And Cox to the infield in the 9 car.
Craig's coming back. Is he going to give him some bumper?
So he has to, Tyler McPherson has to finish, or he's got 6 places ahead of Harley Robb. So he's actually in a good position at the moment, is the 136. But Sweeting's the one that's making the gaps up. Henderson's going to run through untouched, and there is no one on the pole line. So this is, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen with the cars around it here. As Sweeting heads past the Value Cars Warehouse Grandstand, the 77 of Simon goes round, as does Lawton. Down at turn 4, our race leader's going to thread the needle here. Go through, he will clock up. 4 laps to go now for the 151 of Sweeting. And you'd have to say, if it wasn't for the relegations early in the night, this would be a completely different battle for the for Sweeting.
Oh, exactly.
Harley Robb in a whole bit of clear air. McPherson's the one coming through. He just goes through on Lawton, and he's going to pick up Craig Robb in a second. Flames shooting out the 24 of Bork as they head down into turn 3. Race leader though comfortably. He's got no one really behind him causing him any threats, and no one in front of him that's going to be an obstacle. 77 of Simon looked to chase Robb into the corner, but yeah, not going to happen. Harley running 3rd on the track. He's catching the 5k car as McPherson is trying to push the 687 out wide, trying to get through on him and McEwen. White flag is out for Wade Sweeting. McPherson ducks down low, and he looks like he might have got the 687. Hadley gets out of the way. He'll pick up the white flag as well. McEwen is going to try and run the 136 into the corner. He gets on the brake. McEwen's got smoke coming off the back of his car.
And with this corner here, McEwen will have a crack.
Checkered goes to Wade Sweeting. McEwen, he hasn't got the track position to do it. McPherson tucked the tail in. Harley Robb running 3rd. Henderson came home 2nd. And so looking at the points, I think McPherson might have just crept through.
Yep.
I think it'll be Harley Robb and then Craig Robb. 1, 2, 3. I think that's how it looks. Sweeting was the fastest car out there at a 20.07, but I don't think.
How far back was?
Well, actually,
Henderson picked up good points there.
Yes, but
and
he
Craig
was
Robb went
he was
back a bit.
he was one point. I think he might have tied him up with Craig Robb. Sweeting might be 3rd on the podium behind Harley and McPherson.
Unless there's some more relegations.
Well, I'd like to know where, because...
Well, we've got to keep up with consistency.
Why? The Super Saloons are out next. No. So we have our runoff next, Ivan, and it is going to be for 3rd place in the South Island title. So I do believe McPherson is the South Island champion at this point, but we'll have to wait for the official results with Harley Robb and Wade Sweeting, but let's just leave it up to the officials.
5k. 151, 991, 911, 136.
Oh, there's a tie for first in Stockcars. There we go, just like
He
that.
knew what was going to happen. Braden's going to back himself. Sauce has got the experience of the team's racing, but Braden's going to just rev that Toyota like there's no tomorrow.
Rev it like Malcolm owns it. He doesn't, but rev it like he does.
It's third place. Third place in the South Island title. First season in the Superstock. Daryl's pushing him up high.
Daryl, I think, knows he's not going to outrun Braden.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the tubing you're going to get if you're going to do it at speed. Well, if there was ever a test for a gearbox and a motor, we're getting it now.
Yep.
And Sauce is getting...
He's hard on the brakes. He's going to try and push Braden out wide. Braden yields. You don't want...
If he needed a new bumper after teams...
Oh, he just about got up the inside enough to turn him around. Will he be able to push him out?
Yeah, he's got him. Braden's going to guess it. Braden's got him.
Sauce took reverse.
He's on the street stock. So Lennon, he's had a rough night thus far. He got the gap, and he's just got to not overdrive himself into the final quarter. But Sauce gave him a workout.
He made him work for it. Sauce is going to slow up and wait. Braden's got to do it all over again, but he's a lap up.
So he's down here at the at Enviro Waste. He's going to have to play with...
And Sauce will just get round the corner. He won't sit where he is. He'll get round the corner and try.
And why wouldn't you sit at the end of the straight? Oh, that's right.
Because it's going to rattle your cage. He just positions himself.
Yeah, Brado's going to probably run high here to stay up there. Sauce is on the apex now. And he's going to absolutely tube the back of the 557 car. He gets him. Braden Lennon takes away the third spot.
Yellows are on, yellows are on.
If nothing else, Ivan, it was a great learning lesson there for Braden Lennon.
Yep. As I say, it was a good race, and Sauce knew that Braden's car was possibly a wee bit quicker than his on the track conditions at the moment, and mate, he was hard on it on the brakes. Braden was hard on the limiter.
Yeah,
first gear screaming.
It's not a bad advert for one of those Hughes motors, is it?
Oh, exactly.
And but Sauce made him work for it. He didn't get it easy.
Don't let me go. Don't let me go. Don't let me
They will be, looks like they've got a lap or two before they go racing. Or no, the clerk of the course is in. We've got the
green.
They have been go green. They've been told they're going to go green. Yep, lights are out. We are going to go racing for the South Island Super Saloon title. Front row it is Mark Osborne in the 3NZ, Craig Cardwell in the 8C. You wouldn't want to bet against either driver, and of course the current South Island Superstock driver in the third row.
25 laps of Super Saloon action, and away we go with Mark Osborne getting the jump on Cardwell. Greg Johnson looking very racy on the back of Cardwell's car as well. Malcolm Nartai in the mix there in the 19 car, bouncing alongside Johnson and Richie Taylor. He's not going to get left behind tonight. He learned his lesson last night and he's absolutely on it. But it's Osborne out front. He's got a couple of car lengths over Cardwell. They've all got through turns 3 and 4. They're all underway. 25 laps. Can we go without a yellow like we did last night? I hope so. Stealth race cars, the 3NZ of Osborne. It's like a repeat of last night, but with Greg Johnson playing a special guest role, because Osborne is pulling away from Cardwell.
On lap 2, though.
On lap 2, we've got Johnson holding on to third place.
We've got a yellow coming. Oh, no.
Nearly, because Ray Stewart and Elliott in the back of the field there had a coming together, but they've sorted themselves out, holding hands and getting on now. Cardwell's car, I have to say, looks very, very secure on the track. He can put it anywhere he wants, and it's doing what he wants. Osborne's taking a very consistent line around the middle of the track, which is just slicking up a little bit already. Richie Taylor's come through for third place, got underneath Johnson in the 77 machine to take over third. Malcolm Nartai's there or thereabouts in fifth at the moment. There's a bit of a gap back to the battle between Fluffy and the 73, Ryan Marsden in the 54, and Burson, who's come through from near the back of the pack to look pretty quick as well. Hayden Mackay's in the mix, but he's a long way back from near the front of this field. Behind him are Elliott, Stewart, Bardsley and Summerfield. So let's go back front side, coming through turns 3 and 4 at the moment. About to complete lap 6 of this 25-lap South Island Super Saloon final. It's the 3NZ of Mark Osborne. But my spidey sense says that Craig Cardwell car is just closing on him a fraction. Let's keep an eye on those lap times.
Cardwell talked about conserving tyres. He's not pushing the car any harder than it needs to go at the moment, Tony.
So yeah, 1.1, and was 1.1 on that lap as well. So there's nothing there, just holding station at the moment. Behind him, behind the top 3 or 4, the cars are bunching up a little bit. But for out front, there's plenty of space between Osborne, Cardwell. We go back to Richie Taylor holding on to third at the moment. Johnson, Nartai, and those guys are fully a half lap ahead. Well, Osborne's a half lap ahead of Burson, who's coming through as the best of the rest at the moment. So about to complete 9 laps. Osborne in the 3NZ car, Cardwell in the 8 car. The gap opens up slightly to 1.6, so Osborne's stretching the legs on Cardwell, but you get the sense that the lap times are starting to increase a little bit. We're starting to see that. They're into the high 18s, low 19s now. The fastest lap was an 18.1 set much earlier in this race, and the track just slicking up. So who's going to manage, who's been managing their tyres, who can manage these slick conditions? This is going to determine how this one pans out, Jared.
As we look the battle for third between Taylor and Johnson, and Taylor just staying in that low line, just driving smoothly. Johnson on the slightly higher line, just getting the tail out a little as we come through too. Out in front though, still Osborne as we come through Enviro Waste, back to Cardwell. Cardwell just looks controlled. He is very reserved in the way he's driving. There's a lot of, I guess, high line running mid-pack. A lot of these guys just trying to search for something for that right rear to eat into. Osborne's car, middle to low on the track, it seems to be liking it, but Cardwell, it is visually Osborne just pulling away slightly at the moment. The battle for third here, Johnson looking to the outside of Taylor, and Mackay rolling into the infield.
If we check out the lap times, the gap was 1.8 on the previous lap. It's now 1.7. So Cardwell is starting to close. Is this the turning point in the race? 14 laps in, 11 to go. It was about this time last night on this track that Cardwell started to close the gap on Osborne. Are we starting to see that happen now? Let's check it out again this time as they go through. 1.9, so Osborne opened it out again that time. So they're trading quicker laps, these two. The lap times are very similar, but now Osborne is getting into the lap traffic. He is rapidly closing on the back of Summerfield. Marsden is there as well, and then there's a whole gaggle of cars in front of them too. So how these two drivers negotiate the traffic is probably going to dictate how this race plays out. Is that Hayden Mackay who's come through there?
Mackay's just rejoined on the front straight.
Rejoined, okay. So good battle between Taylor and Johnson. Taylor had got through on Johnson earlier, but now Johnson's right alongside him, and these two are running side by side on the track. Hayden Mackay gives them plenty of room to get past.
Yeah, you knew they were coming, you could hear them.
Now, where's our race leader? He's still on the back of the 54 of Ryan Marsden.
And Marsden can make it very difficult. He's taken that top line.
So Osborne had to go a little bit off script there to get through on Marsden, but then Cardwell may have to as well. So we're about to cross start finish the leader there. That's just 6 laps to go now, and it's still 1.97 seconds. He's ahead of Cardwell. Cardwell's leaving his run a bit late. I'm not sure he's going to do it.
I don't
Darren.
think he's got the tyres under him at the moment. That being said, Summerfield is in a really awkward spot for Osborne. He is very quick in a straight line. This car isn't like the 4-bar cars. It is very neutral through the corners, and he's just drag racing. And the car's got plenty of power, so it can pull away from Osborne in a straight line. But what it's doing is it's holding him up for Cardwell to come into the play here. And there will be a moment or two when they see the big black nose of the 8C getting close to...
4 laps to go now.
And Cardwell's turned the wick up.
And the gap is down to 1 second.
Yeah, and here we go. Watch Cardwell running under brakes here.
So if Cardwell can do the better job of this late braking on this slick surface, he's going to be right on the back of Osborne at the end of this race. Just 3 to go now. It's still Osborne from Cardwell. Long way back to Taylor, who's holding off Johnston just. With the battle between Taylor and Johnston is a pretty thrilling one as well. Still Osborne can't get past Summerfield. I don't think he's got the tyres to want to go out wide, and Cardwell's right on the back of the 3NZ now. The gap between them down to 0.6.
Oh, he washed out a wee bit on the corner, but he'll pick it back up under brakes down into Enviro Waste.
So Osborne will pick up the white flag this time round. There'd be just 1 to go. Will Cardwell have a dive? Will he make the kamikaze effort? Almost worth thinking about at this point in time. Last lap for Mark Osborne, the 3NZ stealth machine. He still can't get past Summerfield. Cardwell's not close enough to him. I think Osborne's probably got this. Cardwell comes in tight and hot on turn 3, comes through out of 4, but Osborne's got track position and takes the double jackets and takes the South Island Super Saloon title.
Osborne taking away Cardwell there. Looked like he had him into the corners, but certainly down at turn 1 and 2 the car didn't want to play games. It didn't want to stay low, just wanted to wash out. And that brings us to
Richie Taylor finished 3rd, we should add in there too.
Yeah, he was having a good battle with Johnson. He was. That brings us to the end of a night of champions, really. It is Mark Osborne, South Island Super Saloon champion. Malcolm Nartai, the South Island Superstock. South Island Stockcar going to Tyler McPherson, Canterbury Street Stock champion Brooke Peterson. And what a very, very full night we've had.
It's been fantastic racing. We hope you've enjoyed it, whether you've been here in the stadium watching live or on the stream, courtesy of the Pits TV. Wherever you've been watching Koken, Woodford, Glen, thank you. We hope to see you again soon. We'll be back on March the 2nd for the Street Stock State of Origin. We'll leave you in the hands of Jace with some interviews to finish the night.
Girlfriend, you gotta learn to fight. Girlfriend, you gotta learn to fight.
Okay, folks, here we are down on the pits, and this man, he was a bit emotional before. I wished I caught him bubbling his bloody eyes out, but it is, of course, Tyler McPherson, mate. Obviously, this means a lot to you, eh?
Yeah, it's pretty big, to be honest. Something that the old boy hasn't done before, so one up on him now.
Everybody's sort of giving you a bit of grief about your stickers, or their lack of, so what's the story with that?
I was working in Aussie for the last 6 months of last year and sort of come back on, 3rd meeting into it, and no point really asking someone to help when you haven't done a full season. So, yeah, that's why it's pretty blank.
Well, that's a pretty good call, actually, because you haven't done the New Zealand's. Did you do the GP?
Yeah, we done the GP. We ended up 8th overall there, so that wasn't too bad.
Not too bad, though, to jump in a car, then, a couple of meetings later, and then you're into it and win the South Island title. What's it mean to you, mate?
It means a heck of a lot. It probably helps that it was at the home track, and, yeah.
Well, your name's forever going to be etched into a trophy. At least there'll be signage on that.
Yeah, indeed. That's unbelievable.
Okay, so tell us, who do you want to thank while you got the chance to, Buzz?
I'd like to thank my partner. She's massive help. She stayed up late with me when I was putting the car back together. Elite Wheels, they've been a big help, new job and whatnot. Sponsored me some DTs for the weekend and they seem to go all right. L&B Performance, they've helped out as well. And Lincoln Family Barber, can't forget that one.
Good stuff. All right. Well, you're going to get wet, man. Head sail over to him. There we go. What do you think of that? We'll be back very shortly, folks, with the winner of the Super Saloons back soon. Come down to this part of the track. They're just about to do all the bits and pieces they need to do after the race. And Mark Osborne, mate, clinical, did what you needed to do, and you'll be happy with that.
Yeah, we are, mate. Yeah, it's a title I haven't won, so I've won them all now, so pretty excited for us. So, yeah.
I mean, this car just been hooked up all weekend, obviously pipped at the line last night, so this is a bit of a redemption now, and that puts the South Island title onto your books.
Yeah, mate, yeah. We were on the tools all day today, just trying to find a little bit more at home, and yeah, it was a good car tonight. It was fast. Yeah, I needed to start at the front and just hold the boys out after last night, so yeah, no, we're happy as, yeah.
And of course, a bit of a distance between you back to second spot, but the car, obviously it's just hooking up real nice. You got the perfect setup. Track conditions all night, what were they like?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad in there. Like, it slickened off, but it suited me in that last one. It was gripping up quite well. I didn't know how far back second and third were, so I was just trying to be cautious, especially coming up to the back marker. It's like, oh no, here we go. But no, it was good. It was even the back markers. Once we got to them, they were holding their own. It was a good race. So yeah. That's
3 NZ, and now the South Island title. It's been a very successful season, and we're not even quite finished yet for the Stealth team.
No, Ashton's still got a GP, so no, we're happy with our Stealth cars at the moment, with mine and Ashton's, and yeah, still got a couple trophies to chase before the season's done, so no, looking forward to it too.
Absolutely, good sponsors, mate. I know you've mentioned them a couple of times this weekend, but hey, they look after you pretty good, huh?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Stealth Engineering, obviously, Watkins Race Engines, we'll have a look here, eh? So, Overdrive, Bodie from Overdrive, Hella Lights, Vulcan Race Products, Royce Clive, Dig For You, Limited, Malcolm, Suck It Up, AWS Graphics, King Signs, and Joey from Graham Harris, and Craig Carball Construction. So.
Oh, that's awesome, mate. Well done. Big congratulations, Mark, and we'll see you down around the trap somewhere, obviously.
Yeah, wicked. Appreciate it, eh? Thank you.
Right, we just whipped down here, and we got Craig Cardwell and Richie Taylor. We'll grab Richie too. To grab Richie, I'll get to you shortly. Craig, mate, it's a third, is it?
Second.
Oh, that'll do. So it's I wouldn't watch the race. I was too busy interviewing other people. But second spot for you, mate. And hey, behind Mark Osborne, that's nothing to be sneezed at, is it?
No, he's a serious wheelman, as everyone knows. And yeah, there wasn't much in it. There was a top lane in the bottom, rubbed it up, and I was banging on some lap traffic again, but it didn't come soon enough, I guess. And hey, well done to Mark. You know, he's a top peddler, and his cars are fast, and we're just happy to be in the top three anyway.
Well, the thing is, don't you wish you had the speed and the setups that you've had this weekend at the New Zealand title? I mean, what ifs and what could have been?
Yeah, I mean, like, that's just racing, man. You know, we've tried some things, and we went back to basics this weekend. And basics, you know, it's a common dirt saying, go back to basics when you get a bit lost. And I don't dwell on it, man. I just carry on, and we're just happy to. This is our last meet down here, and we can go home and say we gave it all, and we had good fun and no damage, and take a trophy home.
Absolutely. Is there much left for you for the season?
Yeah, we'll do probably maybe 4 or 5 more shows up north, and that'll be it. We'll probably strip her down because she hasn't been stripped since brand new, and give her some paint.
Give her some loving.
Give her some loving, yeah, pretty her up. And she needs some panels. She looks like a street stock at the moment. She's a bit banged up, but hey, it's we've had fun, and love to thank Woodford Glen for having us, and awesome facility. You guys as well, coming in, doing your thing, and well done to Richie and Mark and my crew. Just thank you. I can't do it without you guys.
Well done, mate. Hey, well, congratulations, Craig, and well deserved. And we'll see you around the traps, no doubt, eh?
Yeah, mate. Thank you, man.
Richie. I mean, obviously it's a really good calibre car here this weekend. Third spot, mate. You must be stoked with that.
Yeah, I didn't do myself any favours in the heat races, and so yeah, to come through and end up third, as you say, with the calibres of cars. Yeah, we're happy. We got work to do. But we're very happy with how we're going. Yep.
How important are those heat races to your feature?
Have a look at who got first and second. What row were they on?
First and second.
Extremely important to start up front.
So what, if anything, would you do differently to make it so that you get that car up the front? Is there much more you could have done?
I just need to learn the car better as when to make setup changes, and if we had a better driver, we'd be good. We'd be on it then.
I mean, this is some good speed you're starting to show towards the end of the season, and I mean, like you're just saying to Craig, wouldn't it be good carrying this sort of speed into the New Zealand title? You probably would have been there or thereabouts.
We had good speed. We actually we ran the fastest lap for the weekend down there. We run the time trial, won our heats. We were good. It just didn't turn out our way, but. We were happy with how we were going at Cromwell, and it's one of those deals. We didn't end up finishing the race because of mechanical damage. So just the way it is.
Mate, it's always impressive to watch you, and you love it in front of your home crowd, and your home crowd love you too, mate. So there's no two ways about that. Tell us who looks after you with sponsorship.
Oh, now look, I forgot my old mate Mel last night, didn't I? I'll pay for that, won't I? So thanks to Suck It Up Limited for many years of looking after us. Fairview Fiberglass, Edge Parts Performance, very important. Cylinder head specialist, amazing guys. We actually had Scotty crewing with us here tonight, so that was great. And cheers, mate. Thanks, mate. Thank you. And we got Transform Paint and Panel look after us. So, yeah, we're very fortunate.
Righto, Richie, on behalf of our team too, thanks very much for looking after Big Red. You're obviously very good to us and babysat it while we come up into the truck racing. So on behalf of our team, thanks for everything you do and looking after us. And let's just hope we can work towards one of those small numbers on the side of the door, especially that number one, eh?
Yeah, well, it's less ink and everything for the sign rider, so it just makes sense to do that.
Just got to get that driver right, eh?
Oh, he's trouble.
Good stuff. Thanks very much, Richie. Congratulations on that third spot. Okay, folks, that's it from us here at Koken Woodford Glen Speedway. We hope you've enjoyed a fantastic night of racing. We will see you next week for the North Island Stock Cars from Gisborne. Catch you later.